Herbs are also entities. They also have their intelligences, and they have the divinities behind them. Earlier, I was reading on Facebook about our brother Timilei, John Jimo Aderemi, said that he was driving and then he saw these shrubs cross the road and he wanted to cut them. So when he got down to cut them, he just heard in his head that, please don't cut us. So at first he thought he was just hallucinating. And then again he wanted to cut, and then the herbs again louder that, please don't cut us. So he was able to push them aside and he passed or something like that. And then the herbs were saying, thank you. You see, our perception of the universe or the world we live in is still very, 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 very little. We don't understand the world that we are living in, even though we have been here for thousands of years. We don't really understand the world. And most of the time, we think that we human beings are the only things or beings or entities that have right to live here. So human being is always trying to destroy other things, and then it's getting closer to us that we have now realized that by destroying the world, we are destroying ourselves. This global warming and all kind of things that are happening is because man has destroyed a lot of forests and trees and other things, and now it's coming closer to us that we are beginning to understand that by destroying the world or destroying nature, we are destroying ourselves. And now big monies are being put into it to stop global warming. And this conference here, that conference there, people talking here and there. For only one reason, we did not respect nature. We did not respect nature, and we didn't see anything that was here with us as part of us. That's why I always say voodoo, as in our culture, is to live in harmony with nature. Learning how to live in harmony with nature. So herbs have consciousness. When you look at this movie, the Avatar, I don't know whether that's the first one or the second one. The Avatar movie, where the ants and plants and all these things were in the what would they say, in another dimension, and then American soldiers coming to destroy and all kind of things. So those of you who haven't seen that movie, I think you should go back and see it. It's also talking about how you can go into another dimension and be able to meet, like what this Meta is doing. That film called Meta, is it Meta? It's a movie where somebody goes into this and their spirit will now interact with other people's spirit, not on the physical plane, but on another level, and they learn some information or lessons from there, they bring it back to physical plane. So nature is beautiful, and every single entity on this planet that we are has got a purpose and a reason for being here. We cannot really understand them, that's why we destroy them. But also, they are also made in such a way that they don't react physically to you, but then the results of their reactions will come and meet you later. Like what we are talking about, the global warming. Herbs can talk to you. Herbs can call you. And you hear them calling you. And you turn around and then you see which herb is calling you. And sometimes the herb will tell you what it can do. That's why our ancestors were able to know which herb and which herb that can combine and create energy or can draw an entity into the physical world to be acting as your guide, your protector, and give you direction. And that's what voodoo is all about. Knowing which herb and which herbs to put together. And these herbs, they talk. They communicate with you. I can communicate with a lot of herbs. And when I go inside bush and I'm looking for herb, I have that herb in my mind. I know its name. And then when I get there, I say a prayer that I'm looking for you. I'll be looking, and the bush is big. There's so many herbs. And maybe this one that I'm looking for is a very small one. But then somewhere along the way, I'll just hear them tell me that, okay, look this way. And when I look there, there they are. Then I pick them. I pay homage, then I pick what I needed, and I thank them, and I move on. And every human being can also learn how to tune in to be able to understand this nature. It is not limited to only some special people. It is only you learning from a proper teacher who can guide you so that you can now tune in, and your what will I say, your vibration or your wavelength can come in that kind of equilibrium with that of the with the herbs, then you can pick information from them. See, sound travels in a plane, and if you have the proper instrument like a transistor, radio, or whatever, you'll be able to tune that sound, and it comes in an audio form for you to listen to. Because the television station is far away, the radio station is very far away, and maybe even the telephone is also very far away. But then the person can call you, and it is traveling in wave form. It's not through wire now. It's in a wave form. But when you have a gadget, a device that can capture that wave, then that is translated to you to understand that wave. So that's what the universe is. That's what plants are. That's all that it is. So if you are able to tune into the wavelength of that plant, you will be able to understand what the plant is saying. I'm not saying this thing to make you people to think that this is, because it's something I practice, and I believe I'm teaching my children also. They also are practicing it. They could understand herbs, and herbs can call them and communicate with them, even whether they are with me in Ghana or they are in any part of the world. If they are looking for some herb and the herb happen to be there, the herb will call them and tell them that, oh, we are here. And they go pay homage, and they pluck whatever they needed and use. So I think, Antonio, you are aware of all these things. But then the question is very interesting for other people to learn as well. Yeah. So
Ready Player One.
Ready?
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
Yes.
Okay. That was a movie, Ready Player One. Okay. Okay. This is a movie I was talking about, Meta. It's a Ready Player One. So you may go back and look. So in this universe, or in our world, everything is vibrating some waves. And it is up to you to be able to tune in and be able to receive that wave and translate it into human language for other people to understand. It is the same thing when I take the mirror and I start to do a reading. It is the waves that I receive, the pictures that I'm shown in my mind, is what I try to translate into physical thing. And I think 90 plus something percent, I'm always right. So I think, Antonio, you can remember one time when there's a lady was in the US, and you were with me here in Ghana, and the lady wanted to do a reading, and asking about some question, and we were doing it, and Abochi was able to pick all the information, whatever was happening. I was living here in Ghana. I've never met her before, but Abochi was able to go and pick all the information, whatever. She was into real estate and all kind of problems. Yeah. So if only we can tune in, we'll be able to understand the universe. We'll be able to understand our world, at least this physical earth. We'll be able to understand and be able to live in harmony, and maybe there will be peace. People will not be carrying guns to shoot each other down in order to take their wealth, so that they can be happier and other people are sad. So, yes, plants can talk, trees can talk, even animals can communicate. It is up to you to. If animals can understand us, why we are not understanding them? Animals can understand human beings. They know when you are angry, they can feel it. Even if you don't beat them or anything, they know you are angry. They can feel that way. So why can't we understand them? So it's only patience and the desire to know, to understand them, that will make us to understand the world we live in, and then we live in harmony with the world. So plants, even animal plants, if you want to cut them, they know that you want to harm them. They know that you want to harm them, but they have no defense against you. But if you are a person who can receive their sound or their waves, you will understand that they know that you want to, they are saying, please don't harm us. When you have a flower or a plant in your house and you pay attention to it, giving it water, giving it nutrients and everything, that plant knows that you like it and you love it. And the plant will blossom. And it's when it sees you, it's happy. It knows that you are coming to help it to grow. Unlike when you take your mower or your weed killer, you want to kill them, they know you want to kill them. So until and unless we are able to tune in into their waves, we cannot really understand what they are telling us, and we cannot have harmony with them. That's all that it is. So plants do communicate, and it is not everybody who can understand their communication now, but if you make it a point to learn, you will. Did I answer your question, Antonio? You are going to spend some time with your teacher, maybe a year, 2, 3 years, with your top Bokor, as it is called in, even the person who teaches you fa is called your top Bokor, means your father priest. Or yeah, father priest, top Bokor. So our ancestors will let you stay with your top Bokor, and your top Bokor will be teaching you through practical ways, from you observing what he is doing. And then also there are certain ache that will be done for you, so that the things that they are teaching you, you will remember. So if it has not been done like that, there will be no Bokor that can interpret all the polys. It's because the person who is also interpreting the poly had learned from somebody. So yes, our forefathers, when they initiate people into Bokor or priesthood, they train them to be able to know how to do divination, and also how to interpret the poly, because the polys are all in coded forms. So you must know how to decode them. You must also know the songs of each poly. You must also know all the herbs that are in that poly. You will also know all the deities that are in that particular poly. So each poly that falls has its own herbs that will be done. The way the sacrifice is supposed to be performed, the meaning or the story, not the story only. There is the proverb of the poly is there to be known. Then the stories. Each poly has so many stories in it, not one story. You also know the stories in the poly, and finally the vosa. What vosa to do when such a poly falls for a person, so that you can be a full-fledged Bokor. When problem come to you, you will be able to do it. But in today's modern day, because of time factor, people don't even have the time to stay at your place more than 2 weeks, 1 month to learn. And 1 month, 2 weeks, or from 2 weeks to 1 month, what can you learn? We are talking about Afa, which has got 256 oracles, and each oracle has got about 16 stories in it. How can you know all the herbs and all the stories, the proverbs, and all these things within 1 month? No, it's not possible. That's why today's Fa, we only know little. We know 1 or 2 stories, or just one single story of one poly. Then you consult with other priests that are more advanced than you in Afa. If you don't understand something, you ask them to tell you. But if it was in the olden days, you would have stayed with that master or teacher that it teaches you all the working of Afa, so that when you leave the shrine, you are a full-fledged priest or priestess, where you can now take care of other people and also probably initiate other people and guide them. But today, with time, everybody is busy and in a hurry. We cannot do things into detail. But yes, but there are some people still do it today. There are some people who will send their children to go and stay with them Bokor to learn. And that child probably may not be going to normal school like other children, but what he is learning is full wisdom of life. And tomorrow, that person may not have the kind of education people respect as education. But when the person sits down and talk and tell you about life, your PhD, doctorate degrees are all nothing. So yes, that's why it used to be. And still, if a person who is willing to learn that way, still the doors are all open for them. Thank you very much. You are living is the one that is going to live when you drop this physical body off. So your essay is your God. It actually is the only God that you should look at first before anything else, because it is the totality of everything. Because without its approval, nothing happens in your life. Even for you to be rich, to be poor, to be clever, to get a good wife, to get a bad wife, it's all decided by your essay. That's how the Aves look at essay as one of the paramount among the Trinity. That's why we give a lot of a name. You know here we give a lot of essay name to our children, because it is the most celebrated God among the Trinity. Maoga Sobolisa, you will never hear anybody giving their children the name Sobolisa. And you will not hear anyone giving their children or their business Kitikata. But you hear people calling Esenyu, Esena, Sedinam, Seli, Sehonam, Sechuafia, Setonyu, Setowu, Sebuabe. All Ese. So Ese is the most celebrated God in the Trinity. So the Aves look at the say as the main thing. Without the say, there is nothing that can happen in your life. If your say doesn't agree, nobody can kill you. So how will your say not agree before, how can your say be before you will not agree? Because you have to strengthen your say to the point that when people say they wanted to feed your say will tell them that no, I am full, I don't need food. So if they cannot feed their say, how can they attack their say? But if you don't know how to work your say and your say is weak and your say is hungry, if somebody wants to destroy you, they'll ask the say, oh, what will you eat? So that your sejoto, which is in the human being, can live. You can leave the person, and then the physical body will fall off. Then they say, "Oh, because I'm hungry, I'm not supposed to eat chicken, but give me chicken." And they give you chicken meat, and then your man who is me like me, then I didn't know, I'll go and eat chicken somewhere, and then I'll get sick and die. So without the say, without compromising the essay, nothing can happen. So everything in your life is actually directed by your essay. Even the parents that gave birth to you, it is your essay who chose them for you. Thank you very much, Vikram. I'm very grateful. My regards to the family. Then we have Dr. Sean Thompson, Aboro, Aboye, Aboshishe, our Eve will say Bolu, Boya, Abokite. Thank you very much. And then can a bow be made to correct this, to right one's wrong? Yes, sometimes a bow can be made to correct your this, but there will be some punishment in such a way that the punishment will not be more than your physical body can handle. But it's not like writing it off. No, punishments will come. Let's say, for instance, the thing that you have done and it's very bad, and someone is supposed to shoot you with gun, and then you die, and that is the payment for whatever you have done. I don't know, I'm just giving an example. So what may happen is that you may be, that is the point that you need to die for whatever wrong you have done. As karma may pay you according to your deeds. So if you do ebo or do vosa, or what the white man call ritual, that, oh, I have realized that I have done things, and I want to pay for my wrongdoings, but I don't want the punishment to destroy me, but I should be able to live and continue worshiping God. I should also continue to live to help humanity move forward. What may happen is that you may be going somewhere and you may have a car accident. And in that car accident, you are not going to die. Maybe you break a limb. The pain that you will be having, which you have already inflicted on people, would have come. You will be feeling pain. You broke a limb. So now you are not dead. Then slowly that heal. You are okay. Then one day you are going somewhere and somebody throws stone, hit your head, bah. You say Ajay, and then you went to hospital and then you treated. So the punishment is coming in a way that it will not destroy you, but you are feeling the pain. That is what Ebo and ritual can do, by trying to edit and also by reducing the impact of what would have happened and destroy you when rituals are done. Then the spirit world knows that you have recognized your own wrongdoing and you are trying to do something. So they will punish you, but the punishment will come in longer form than coming as one impact to this. Saeed, please put me on. Last week too, I wore this same shirt. Was it last week?
Sincerely, this was 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay. No problems. Okay, let me pour libation before I go on to reading the greetings and other things. Thank you very much, everybody. Good afternoon to you, good evening, and good morning to you, wherever you may be. I am thanking you very much, and this is our Revolution Live question live streaming from Africa by Magic Temple, Accra. I am your host, Christopher Voncujovi, Bokor Christopher, as many people may say. Thank you very much for joining us. We traveled out of Accra. We went all the way to the Volta region on Friday night, and we're just coming back this afternoon. So we are a little bit tired, but we have to do. So I'm going to be your host again, just like as always. Thank you. Let me pour libation to the ancestors for taking me, and bringing me and my children back safely, and then we can continue with that discussion. Thank you very much. Oh, ago mauga, Mayo mauga sopolisa, mauga akitikata, mauga ese joto, ame joto, ese na ame, se te ame, wabana pevi, dokuna pevi, wabana pevi mebi anu dokuna pevi umbena, wabana pevi mebi anu dokuna pevi umbena, dokuna pevi mebi anu wabana pevi umbena, se popoli kusera tafia, ese joto, ame joto, odo ago. Mayo sheme hamfura shoko, semi fura shoko, te me do ago, yo abraxas, mayo zi andre ko do ago, yo ta andre to me vi makua. Wo veso aton veso kama yo do ago. Mayo mi ano so je ani zo kaka chikaze bo jende. Ya la fa banya gbe na pe banya gbe ndo ho na mayo da kelo. Wonya ingba ma jo flora fa kwa ingba ma do adi ka lo wonya hu do ma tekulo etega. Mayo akai me je wakai ngone wakai nje wakai bisu wakai trobo wakai menye wakai. Tufia wakai mami wata wakage wakai. Pẹ̀lú pàdé mẹ́gbà àjà dó lọ́kọ̀ pẹ̀lú bàbá dọ́jú fi tọ̀ bá sọ́mi tẹ́ dọ́jú ẹ̀yọ́ mi ló dá ọkọ̀ pa àbẹ̀wò akápọ̀ pẹ̀ mi ọ̀zángo ẹ̀yọ́ pé ìwé rẹ̀ yọ̀ra kékeré wò jọ pátá jọ máa kú fọkẹ́ mẹ́ vọ̀lẹ̀ mọ́ ní tsi mẹ́ vọ̀lẹ̀ fúdó mi gbèrè kúkúrú kọ́ tọ́lẹ̀ fọ́fọ́ mi jọ̀gbọ̀nyé òhè ẹ̀bẹ̀ jọ̀gbọ̀nyé mẹ́tọ́ ayé amọ̀ mọ́jú òtọ́ anukọ́ rẹ̀ pẹ́ bẹ̀ yín ó lè pẹ́ mẹ́gbẹ́tọ́ bàjọ́ tó sọ pé lù ọmọ náà tó fẹ́rẹ̀ ká ọ̀jọ̀ pátá bẹ́yẹ lè hafi ẹ̀jọ̀ bọ́ bàjọ́ ẹ̀yìn yín jọ pátá ọ̀fẹ́ fìyà jọ pátá mẹ́tọ́rọ́ náà mẹ́gbẹ́dẹ́ àmọ́wòrán àbí fagbẹ́ ẹ̀rí ènìyàn tó pátá náà nà ányi àti mìíràn àjọlò jọ pátá ẹ̀ mẹ́yọ̀ ẹ̀yìn yàtẹ̀fẹ́ mẹ́yọ̀ wà mẹ́sì mẹ́gbọ́ ọ̀jìdí o tó tọ́gbẹ́ dẹ̀dẹ̀ àbàpẹ́ ló ti sùgbólu àjìmá òbòjú pé ọdún ọjà ló pẹ́ńkọ́mọ́ valenti fafa mẹ́lò valojo àpẹ́fù àgọ́sá pátẹ́ mẹ́yọ̀ tígẹ̀rì mẹ́yọ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ mẹ́yọ̀ kẹ́kẹ́ àlàáfíà mẹ́yọ̀ àmàkà sísẹ́ nìjà sísẹ́ tọ́gbẹ́ gẹ̀dẹ̀ mayo brahini mayo gbọgbọchi mayo mgbe foli koko mo reke gbo mi bodo kuche kuma koma ga to bonye mani ayo mayo to ko sipe kwa ku yo na ya koso gbo ku foni ko mtete tasi nya mo si fusi ya mkoso abra ko bra mama nye gbo mi mba to bonye ko ku fu to bonye ko bia bensa mama nye doro e ko mgbe poku no mayo ra ke akuto mene fana mi gbogbo re mi na gbogbo ne fana mi lo mayo ko nye Celestine ya wa ku bia Katrina ku bia fonya sense ko de fonya ya be na kubia kuto mane fana mi me mi asro o ba tucha chupa ku be sisi la pena ke to mensa kuto mane fana mi o me ya wo no tuji bako tuji tagbe tuji me yo kini na sise ko nti da bara so bara paprazo me yo ra ke lo e me yo bako ada afli so fa bo bi bako afacha wa jonde me yo akuno hunule bapo me yo hunu le gbin agbega to bia ma ze me yo mi kuto me fana mi gbogbo mi na gbogbo ne fana mi sia me yo to bi anani tretu le dita to bi Abraham jivenu le chame to bako kuto me fana mi yo to bi fia to si mon kabila be nyina si agoti me yo ra ke me yo Daniel bi pa mare le agbaro le Nigeria nirma kuto me fana mi gbogbo mi na gbogbo ne fana me yo tron yo bete proclame me yo awudi da fa be chia fa gbure pe pe wa da fe yo ra ke jaga agbodo fi me ko cha agbodo usmo ka ba to me yo ra ke me yo abuchi sakra ka be cho fa be adogo ko to ko li don ko kunu ma ko agbere ngbere to no lecho fran tamani fi fini mkura tsinkra ko fito jamba ku o cho to ko fito ko fi atra kable pe yo mi o pe agbere jima yo mi lu amese se kura gbe didi ngo gbe yi asile ni do never be wo ago na di le mi abekpo no ya mi tamile mi ayoro la me system plan me di tamile mi ayoro nura jenudi me wele nusro no nye nu yo so njebele me sro ma nye e me yo afa na go afa go ba so kuku su pepe to so le me da pa bi me yo ko ni be meji ku meji wolu meji meji also meji wolu meji abla meji akra meji buda meji sa meji kam tu tu la meji chere di fu wali che tu la me yo kle wo bi ko to wa do ko to wa de me ko me yo kle go ho ti chia me na kwa e me yo to me pechu manyami e yo ara te e me yo to me bi do ko to di me ko abeja me ko ko chini Doreje dojilo na masese mi ga ile Facebook live e wo mi adasi asime na mi abegbere nye gbere na mi na abegbere nye gbere na to mi na mi awere de mi o ya we afi mi chema aho ejeje mi hero. Okay, so now we are starting. I think we have our people in the clubhouse. Everybody there? Hello, everyone. Want to hear whether you are there so that I can know whether my microphone is working well.
Your microphone is on.
Yeah, I know, but we are not hearing from them. We don't know whether they are there or they are not.
Greetings, Papa.
Okay, thank you, Baba. Is that Baba Wakiri, right? Thank you for joining.
No, that's
Yes.
Shamba, Papa.
Oh, Shamba, your voice and Baba Wakiri's voices every time I'm getting confused with this. But sometimes your voice, sometimes I think it's Baba Wakiri. Okay, anyway, thank you, Shamba. How are you?
I'm good, Papa.
And
How
how's
are
your?
you?
I'm okay. I just arrived from the village. I went there Friday night and went to learn some few things, and I'm just coming. I just came back this afternoon just for the Facebook live. A little bit tired, but because we drove about 300 to 400 kilometers, yeah, I think so, in and the same out, so roughly 800 kilometers before coming back. So I'm a little bit tired, but all the same, thank you very much for joining and all of you. And how's your mom?
Well, she's doing good, Papa.
We
She's
thank God.
doing fine.
We thank God. We thank God.
Everything is
We
good.
okay. We
Yes.
thank God for that. Thank you very much. And I think we have Baba Wakiri on the Zoom. He's there. Okay. So Baba Wakiri, hello to you. I can't see you, but we saw your this. And bring it to Facebook. Let's continue from there with the greetings. Yeah. So we have on Revolution Voodoo Education live now at African Magic Temple. We have Nana Kweku Banahini Dagbe Neva Nunya Dagbe Sika Dagbe Afa Dagbe Dagbe. Okay, thank you very much, Nana Kweku Banahini. And then Nana Kweku Banahini again say Voodoo is to live in harmony with nature, science and development of our whole being and the environment. Lache. Thank you. Nana Banahini. And then Nana Banahini continue with his writing. Say, I really love the way you speak. Everything in nature has consciousness. All living beings have the attributes of their creator. Plants, like animals, have vision, communicative energies, and intelligence, etc., etc. Yes, Nana, thank you very much. Plants are also conduits of manifestation and medium through which entities can manifest itself. I really love this. Thank you. Maybe you were listening to some of our old teachings. Plants are also teachers of mankind. They are called plants because receives and transmits energies universally. Okay, thank you. And then we have Nana Banahini continuing. So nature is about cooperation, and the plants are also our cooperatives. Yes, I agree with you. Thank you very much, Nana Banahini. I have Alvin LeBron Hill Jr. Say hello, Papa. Peace and blessings to you. Hello, Alvin. It's been a while. Yeah, thank you very much for joining the session. And then Nana Kwakuba Nahini again said Dagbe Nemba. Yes, through Dagbe Nemba. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that's what we have on Facebook. We are going on to YouTube. We have Mario Young. Say good evening, Daddy, and the AMT family. Greetings from India. Thank you very much, Mario. We are very grateful and thank you for joining the section. Barbara Paddy saying greetings to you, Papa. Hello, Barbara. How are you? Thank you very much for joining the section, and my greetings to you too. We have SB. Greetings, Bokor, Christopher, Voncujovi, and AMT family. Peace and blessing. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you very much, SB. We are very grateful for joining. My greetings to you and your family. Thank you very much. Yes, we are now ready for your questions. So please come with your questions, and there I will be able to answer them for you if I can. I think we have Baba Wakiri on the Zoom. So Baba, yes, you can unmute your.
Hello,
Greetings. How are you?
greeting, Papa. I'm doing well. I'm glad to be able to be here at the top of the class. Instead of later in the evening. I'm doing good. I am cultivating my questions that I've had over this week to get in it, but I know this is going to be a good Voncujovi time.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you and welcome. And
And
also we have Khadija Gani, Khadi Fisher is also on Zoom. Khadi, if you can hear me, please just unmute your listen and saying hello to you. It's been a while.
Greetings, Papa. Greetings, AMT family. How is everybody?
Thank you, Khadi. Thank you. How are you and how is the family? How is everybody?
Me and Cameron, everybody is doing well. We're doing well. Thank you for asking. How's everybody there?
We are,
And
we are
hopefully, you can get some rest from traveling after this session.
sure. Okay, we are all fine. I'm tired, but I think we just do this and I can go and take rest. Yeah. Thank you very much, Kadi.
No problem, Papa. Thank you.
Okay, Baba Wakiri, if you have any question to start the ball rolling, please go ahead.
Okay. I would
Lamin, please, the camera closes. I can't see the here. You know, maybe you take it to this angle a little bit so that I can also see other people. Yes, but it should be on me. Okay, great. I think it's fine. Yes, I can see. Yes, Baba Wakiri is asking a question. Please allow him to.
okay. I to get the ball rolling.
Mhm.
It is I thought I have Obama doc. But it is another variation of the Obama dot plans. I know they have like 2, 3 different Obama dots. I wanted to start off to see if you was familiar with it. My ignorance, I need to go pluck one real quick out the yard to bring it back.
No problem. I have
So
never.
I don't know if someone has something to do.
Okay, you go pluck the herb and bring it. Let me see if I have any idea about that herb.
Okay.
And Kadi, do you have any question to ask?
No, Papa, I don't have a question to ask at this moment.
Okay.
I'm just here to learn.
Okay, thank you very much. We are all learning. Yes, and on Clubhouse, anybody having any question there so that we can all learn from?
Yes, Papa.
Yes, Shamba, go ahead.
Papa, what type of initiation did you just take?
Oh, it's actually initiation not for myself, but it's for coffee and serum.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
because I'm doing the work alone, and sometimes there's pressure on me, and I want them to be assisting me. So I took them through some training. When you come, you also go through the same.
Okay, thank you, Papa.
Okay, Baba Wakiri is showing the herb, this thing, what do you call it, afla toga, afla toga. Yes, this is called afla toga. We have the other one which is called afla wake. I think that is a vivia, something sempre viva. That's the other one. These are the two. Call a serum or coffee to go to the spiritual shrine to plug these two herbs so that I can show the difference so people can know the difference.
So, I have Obama Doc as Stevie Mac.
What is it called? What is the name in
and
English?
um, the name in English, no, that is the Yoruba name, Obama Doc.
Obama da.
Not
Aflatoga
Stevie
kle
Mac.
woke.
Okay, you said it's Walker.
No, there are two types. The one you holding now is not the woke. If I can see it very clearly, that is not woke. We have the woke and we have the afla toga. Yeah, this one doesn't look like the woke. This one look like the afla toga.
I'm going to pluck the other one to make sure.
Who is going to feed the birds? I call Kede to get ready to feed the animals. And they should release the goats from the pen. Oh, yeah, okay. Come on, the chiota, the camel fresh. I mean, I'm the chi. Yeah.
But okay.
Okay, yes. What do you have? Yes, there are two. This is the one you are calling Obama dat, and this is the Woke. You can see the difference between the Woke, which is like zigzag at the end, and sometimes it grow roots and it can grow. You can grow a whole plant out of the leaf alone. I want people to take a look at the edges, and the edges you can even see a root, a small root appearing from here. Like what Baba Wakiri is having. That's the wake. So you can grow a whole plant from this leaf alone, like what Baba Wakiri also is having. Yes, this is called wake, and this is the herb of eso or tanga. That some people even call it soli. This particular herb, the herb of tanga, and it is used for a whole lot of things. It is used for memory, to enhance people's memory. This is used for that. And it has so many other things in it. It's called woke, it grows, can grow from here. Whereas the other one, which is the afla toga, Yes, the one that
Afla.
afla, afla toga. I means we have afla in Ebe means that which you can use to nullify and pacify for cleansing. Afla. When someone is in trouble, these are the herbs that you can use to cool down the situation. Somebody has done something bad and you want to cleanse them. These herbs there are three. So most of the time, people mistaken this one to be a flat toga. No, it's not. So this is a flat toga. This one is usually used for heart diseases and other coronary diseases. It is also used for mucus. When a child has some mucus, like a baby having a mucus, you just use this, run it over fire, and when it gets soft, you squeeze it in your hands and squeeze the juice out of it into the child's nostrils or into the mouth so that it goes to the chest. It burns it melts the mucus. That's what it is used in our this is so this is called a flat. A flat means it used to pacify and cleanse people. So there are two, like how Baba Wakiri has the two, the woke, which has the zigzag around it, and then the afla. So these are very very important herbs in Ewe spirituality too. So almost every shrine has them grown in the shrine. And I'm lucky I have the two growing in my shrine as well.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you, Baba Wakiri, for that.
Now, can the Afla Toga,
A
can
toga,
it,
toga usually means big ears. Toga means it's big ears. We have another one which is very very small. That is very we call it afla tovi. Tovi and toga. Toga means big ears and tovi means small ears. So I don't know what maybe we'll let the children go find that afla tovi also outside and bring. So these are the herbs. They are all powerful on their own. They are very very powerful. When you combine them, like the aflatomi, when you add certain other herbs to it, we use it in the form of a black powder, burn them, and then when people are having stroke or paralysis or brain damage and all this thing, you vaccinate them, and then they put some into their food, and it will reactivate their brain cells and nerves. That's what our people had been using them for.
mm, and in the Afla Toga, it will grow like a roke as well.
Yes, it grows like woke, but it does not grow leaves around it. It grows just like woke, but there will be no roots or this thing because if you can look at the site, it's a little bit smoother compared to the woke. So it cannot grow any leaves around it compared to woke. It grows on its own and it is very powerful. It's a water plant. It needs water to be able to get its strength. Because this one is a little bit weak because I think when we travel, nobody got watered the plants at the shrine, the inside shrine. So it's a little bit weak, but it's the same.
Mm-hmm. Um, can it just grow with water alone?
No, I mean, if you put it in wherever you grow, you need the soil and nutrients and for it to grow. Oh no, if you plant it inside the water alone, it will not grow. This one cannot be planted that it will grow, but this can. The other one can, but this one will never grow in water by itself, never. So a lot of time people mistaking them, thinking this one is this or this is this. No, they are two different ones, and I'm glad you have both with you too. That's good.
Thank you, Papa.
You're welcome, Mawakiri.
Because I have, even when I am doing the cleanses for myself,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, I would say my how do you say it in bed? My ori or
Yeah,
my
safe.
nephew,
Yeah, I
my
say.
estate,
Yes. Yes.
my estate would tell me you need to put Obama dot in this bath today to clean your ori. I would
Okay.
say okay. Sometimes I would run out and go get the aflatoga, not knowing, thinking they are the same. But I started to notice that they were being developed differently, and that the aflatoga was
Mm-hmm.
not producing those heat from the outside.
Oh no, each one has its own work. So the spirits and the voodoos that are with you will use them. This is the other one called Aflatovi. I think a lot of people will know this one too. Take a good look at it. This is the Aflatovi.
Oh.
Among them, this is the most dangerous one. So whenever you do a healing for someone, supposing someone was sick spiritually and you did a healing, to be able to seal the person so that no uh, any other negative energy will come into that person's life after you did your healing. These are the herbs that we prepare for the person to bath. So you will seal it because most voodoos are not, they don't like this herb because it tries to drive their energy away.
Mm.
So this is what we call Afla Tovi. This is Afla Toga, Afla Tovi, Afla Toga. And then, of course, we have the Woke. Also is Afla, but the common name is Woke. People who are misunderstanding or calling this one that one should learn it from today. And there's the third one that is very common. It grows on the roadside and very common uh, uh, herb. It is very slimy type of herb and very powerful. It's slimy. It's very, very powerful. Whenever you bath this herb, it is advisable that you don't go close to your voodoos, especially this one.
Papa, this is the second time that it has come up in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the first master bath, which I am still searching for the boundary plants. Okay, the
Okay.
boundary tree.
Yes.
I will not stop until I have it.
Sure. When Shamba comes to Ghana, maybe I'm going to get him cut some of the wood, a little bit of the plant because it can stand the weather. So you can go and plant it in his house or in his room, so that during winter it can still survive. And then from there, I believe that all of you will be able to get some.
Stop send me your cash app so I can send you something to have dirt for the plants as well.
Sure.
I have noticed that that compulsion that has been put together, you say stay away from your voodoos for the day. The
Mm-hmm.
next day when you cleanse yourself, normally you can go back.
Right.
So when we are dealing with illnesses, spiritual calamities,
Mm-hmm.
sickness, we are dealing with spirits and voodoos that have jumped over on our bodies.
Right.
And this is why we certain herbs to chase them away from our bodies. Because a sickness is a voodoo.
Mm.
A feeling is a voodoo. Everything has a voodoo with it. Is this a correct thinking that I am going in and putting together?
You see, the reason why we as human beings we sometimes have to cleanse ourselves is that we come in contact with different people, different events that sometimes the spirit or the voodoo or the essay that we came into this world with is not happy with. But then you go and confront your essay, or you go to pray to your essay, or pray to your voodoo, or pray to any spirit that is with you while you are having this uncleanliness vibrations around you. For your essay, or for your spirit, or your voodoo, or whatever you are dealing with as a spiritual artifact or whatever, to be able to deal with you one on one without relaxing their support for you. From time to time, you cleanse yourself so that you can be as clean as possible in front of them so that their dealing with you will be fine. Sometimes, even after healing people, you kind of pick some of their vibrations or some of the dirt that is making them to sick to get sick. You as a healer, you also pick those things. So for you to be able to be chaste, to be pure, you sometimes need to cleanse yourself of uh, these negative energies and vibrations or waves. And then when you cleanse yourself up, you are again as clean as you had been. But sometimes these herbs, when you use them to cleanse yourself off, you cannot approach your voodoos because your voodoos will think that you are trying to kick them away because uh, they are also vibration. The voodoos are also vibration and they are waves. So it is like using a soap and oil. Okay, when you use soap and oil, the soap drives away the oil. Just like in coronavirus, the virus being a fatty uh, fat surrounding the virus. That's why we were told to be washing our hands with soap in order to be clean so that it does not stick to us and later harm us. So in voodoo, when you do healing, not only in voodoo, it is general in life, whether you do healing or not, when you are interacting with people from time to time, they are vibrations because they are not things that we can easily see come attached to you. And for you to be able to cleanse yourself and be clean, our ancestors have the knowledge of which herbs that you can use and cleanse yourself when it becomes necessary so that you can be because the more cleaner you are or the easier it will be with you and your photos to deal together. They will accept you on that. Of course, you are a human being. They also know that you will definitely go through things that others don't go through, and those things that you may go through may also hinder their approach to you toward to you or your approach to them. So this herbal bath or cleansing herbs sometimes help you to wipe all those negative energies that may disturb the relationship between you and your voodoo.
Right, so it's not necessarily the voodoo or the energy of the voodoo that's on us that we're trying to get away. It's the negative vibrations that stand in the way
Right.
of us being able to have a partnership with the voodoo, the
Right.
spirit,
Mhm.
whatever one is working.
That's true.
Thank you, Papa.
You're welcome. Thank you very much to Baba Wakim. Okay, let's go back to. Go ahead, Baba. If you have any question, go ahead.
I'm just saying because in my very young state, and hopefully one day I can be growing to the maturity. But you know, we do a lot of things. We do. But I think the African way is to be able to break down why we do these things and
Mm-hmm.
to have the understanding. I think this is where um, the spiritual elevation actually comes into understanding. When you're washing up, it's not just somebody taking their spiritual bath and I'm feeling so good, right? Or no, and to know what to do at times. If one feels like they're not having full communication with their voodoos or different things, okay, I have to cleanse. I have listened. I have been around. I have hugged my grandmother maybe too much today was a little upset. So it is very, it's a good thing to understand what we are doing when we are doing cleansing baths. And the reason why it is to vibrate and release the vibrations from ourselves, from others, one, to be able to come closer with our Guru. Period.
That's very true. That's very true, Baba. You see, just like our shoes that we wear when we go out, we polish our shoes and they're very clean, and then we go out, walking, meeting people. We are picking dust and all along the way. And when you get back home, sometimes your shoe is very dirty, not because you put it inside mud or anything, but just because you are walking the dust of the day from one place to another, all later gather and stick to the shoe. If you want your shoe or your sandals or your slipper to look nice, you have different ways to do it. Either you use water and just wash away the dirt, or you get a shoe polish and then you polish it so it can look clean again. And then the same old shoe will begin to look clean again until you start moving about and it gets dirt again. So it is with we human beings and spirit. When we want to get cleansed, we use the herbs to cleanse ourselves so that the vibrations and the waves that we have acquired or accrued during our dealing with different people or dealing with different voodoos or whatever, you cleanse yourself and you are free. So this is the reason why cleansing baths are done, so that you and that voodoo or spirit or the energy you are dealing with can have a clean space to communicate.
Thank you, Papa. This is all I have now.
Thank you very much, Baba Wakiri. So let's go on to Facebook and see. Okay, we are on YouTube now. We have life education and well-being. Ashe, I think that was from, who is that? That wasn't from SB, was it? It's a different person. He's saying, okay, I think the name is Life Education and Wellbeing. Ashe. Okay, let me see the logo. I think it's like somebody's. Okay. I can't see it. You are blowing it up. Okay. I can't see it very well. It's fine. No problem. No problem. Yeah. Okay. You say Ashe. Okay. Thank you very much. Life Education and Wellbeing. Thank you very much. And okay, I think still you're doing better. It must be somebody who was also teaching about life and well-being. So, yeah, that's great. That's great. So let's go back to the text messages here. So we have Mario Young say, Daddy, thank you. Thanks to you and Dr. Cosmos, my inclination towards nature has grown exponentially. Exponentially. Nature is God and God is nature. Yes, thank you very much, Mario. That's very true. As we are all learning. So we were also at one time we didn't know anything, and through other people's teaching, we also got to where we are. So we are teaching. So when you too you are learning tomorrow, you also will teach others. Thank you very much. And then we have Mario again saying, congrats to Senna on his achievement. I wish nothing but the best for him. More power to him. Thank you very much, Mario. And I think Senna is listening. Mario is saying thank you and congratulations to you for your thesis that has been given a very high respect in your university, being the second best so far. We thank God for the guidance and where you are reaching. May the ancestors continue to guide you and open doors for you. Then we have life education and well-being again. Is it okay to believe in the biblical text and not follow Christianity? I don't know. I am not a Christian. So I don't know how I can tell you that you should believe in the biblical text and not be a Christian. I'm not teaching Christianity here. I'm teaching Vodou, and that's what I teach. So I'm not teaching Christianity. So I cannot really answer that question by saying it is good to follow biblical text and not be a Christian. I don't know. I'm not interested in Christianity. And then we have Juliet A saying greetings Bokor and AMT family. Hello Juliet, how are you? Thank you very much for joining. It's been a while. How is everybody around you? Hope you're all fine. Thank you. Is that the Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, so we have Nana Kweku Banahini again. Why is herbal bath very imperative in our daily lives? And also, can we also practice herbal spiritual bath outside temple rituals? Why is it very important to give back to plants after picking them through words of kindness and coins and other stuff and so on? Thank you very much for the honorable libations. Okay, bring the question down so that I have just explained that to the Baba Wakiri why we do herbal bath cleansing is to cleanse ourselves from the vibrations and the waves and things that we are, the dirt, spiritual dirt that we have acquired during the day or during our interactions with different people as well as with different spirits. So that's why uh, we have to do herbal bath. Yes, you can prepare herbal bath outside a spiritual bath outside temple rituals if you know which herbs to put together. I think my students who know the herbs and if they want to prepare, sometimes they tell me, Papa, I want to prepare herbal bath. I say, okay, you know the herbs, so go pick them and then prepare. And you can also prepare them on your own by uh, when you pick the herbs after you brought them back home. When you are mashing them, you have to put your will into the mashing in order to let the herbs know the reason why you are mashing them or the reason why you pick them because they are God and God is them. So you have to make your will. I will not say your wish, but it could be will, could be wish. But you put your will into the herbs when you are working them. And then why is it very important to give back to plants after picking them through words? Because they are also entities. You are only acknowledging them and giving them a paying homage to them for them sacrificing their life for your life. So, what else can you do than to just show appreciations to them by telling them in words? You know, plants, people think that plants do not hear and plants do not listen to music and all this. And they do. That's why certain places, even small enzymes and organisms are listening to music, as in wine cellar. When they are preparing wine, they play good music to the wine so that the wine can mature and grow very well. So how much more a living plant that is growing and you think that it does not listen or it doesn't hear? So we pay respect to them for sacrificing their life for us. We eat them, we use them to cleanse ourselves, but we are destroying them physically by plucking them. But when you let them know why you are doing so, they also know the reason why they are in the universe. They know they are here to help us. So sometimes by mashing and you throw the remaining bath somewhere or the water somewhere, the plant will again from the seeds will germinate and new plants will come out. So we are not actually destroying them, but we are using them for our this thing, we have to show respect. We have to pay homage to them. Thank you very much, Mr. Banahini. We are very grateful for that question. And then Nana Kweku Banahini again, I trust in your leadership and as a plant scientist, I will need your support and advice on how to be an adept of plants. Oh, that's very interesting to hear you are a plant scientist. Yes, but plants, it is how you deal with them that is being an adept. It's for us as a traditional priest, we were just taught to respect nature, and I think that is the base of voodoo. Respect nature, show respect to everything in nature. You should not always just think that God is somewhere in the sky and He is the only one that matters. Because when these plants are not here in this world to help us to live, to give us carbon dioxide or take the we are giving carbon dioxide and they absorb and give us oxygen and all this thing, we will die. And when we die, there is no God to worship. Dead people do not worship God. They are dead. So it is the living who can make an attempt to worship God and also pay respect to nature as well as to the ancestors. So if we think that God is behind the skies and somewhere and we don't respect nature, we don't see God in nature, we don't see nature in God, we will die and we will be gone. And when we are gone, that means we are gone. We will not have any God to worship, because I don't think anybody who had died before came back and told us where God was and where God is, how God's house was. But at least we are seeing nature. And when the dry season comes, we know that the plants, they die off. But when the wet season or the rainy season starts, we see that the plants from their death, they again grow out of that place. So nature is beautiful. It's always coming back to us. Even if it goes away, it comes back. And that's what shows that God is an everlasting energy and continues to be here and will be here forever. So we're not thinking of the sky God, sky daddy, people call it. That's not giving me anything, so I don't know him. Yeah, but those who believe that there's a father in the sky for them, that's fine. I'm not against them. But I deal with the nature that is around. So to be an adept in nature, you just need to love nature. To be an adept of plants, you just need to love nature and see God in everything that is around you, and you are already an adept. So thank you very much, Nana Koku Banahini. I saw a video of your son speak of how dwarves teach him some healing plants. Yes, the dwarves are also there. They are also entities. They are not there for us to see with our naked eyes all the time, but when you know the techniques to invite them, just like how you invite the plants also to work voodoo for you. Yes, the dwarves also do the same. They are also nature beings that are bodiless, but sometimes they can appear depending on how you know how to deal with them. So, as a dwarf really teachers of plant, can you please touch base on that one more? Yes, of course. We human beings had not been here before dwarfs. There are so many energies and spirits that have been here, even like my Tommy Jopata, who had always said that he had always been here before human beings came and all evil and negative spirits came. So dwarfs has also been here long before us, and they still are here, but they are no more very common due to development, and their habitat and everything has been destroyed. Just like how animals' habitats have been destroyed, plants' habitats have been destroyed. So were the habitats of dwarfs also. So it is only through psychic energy and knowledge and information that you can now connect with these energies, like especially like the dwarfs. And the dwarfs, they are real. If you are able to connect with them, they will teach you. They may not be the total teachers of plants secrets, but our ancestors have made us to understand that most of the secrets that they had put down for us to learn came through the dwarfs. That's why I taught my children also to contact them to see if they can learn, because I have learned from them, and then now it's my turn of my children to learn, and they are doing well by learning from them, and the herbs that they taught and they put them together, and then they see the effect that the dwarf told them that they will see, and that means the dwarf is not deceiving them, and that also means that the dwarf really exists. Thank you very much, Professor Banahini. And then we have Nana Banahini again. I think the whole of the first part of this show is going to be Nana Banahini. This is eligible Mausobo Lisa. Is it eligible? No, it's not eligible. Is it? Eligible. Eligible Mau. Eligible Mau. Sobo lisa kiti kata bloku lisa adam woto lache godo 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 tobi akpe. And then we have Bubune Tamuklo. Hello Bubune, how are you? Thank you very much for joining again today. Greetings Papa, I trust all is well. Can cleansing be done for someone without their presence? No. Cleansing is a physical and a practical thing, just like initiation is. No one can do cleansing for you that will be in total, that will be a real cleansing if you are physically not there. What we do with people who we have to do a herbal bath for instance, you do a reading, and in your reading, the oracle prescribes a herbal bath after the rituals, so that you can be cleansed from whatever negative energy is disturbing you. And if you are physically not at the presence of the person who is doing the rituals for you, we would have to ask the voodoos at the shrine, to ask the voodoos that which of the voodoos that would take the vosa on your behalf, since physically you are not here for us to cleanse you. Before I used to send herbs to outside, but it's getting difficult for me. Until recently, I heard that Dr. Labi Cosmos is doing, but until I am able to ship through him, I will not know. So when you are not physically here, it will not be easy for anybody to do a cleansing ritual for you or bath. Bath is a physical thing that we need to take, and then there are certain what do you call it? There are certain words that you'll be told to use while you are doing the mashing of the herb, that you infuse your will into the herb before taking the bath. Because, mind you, everything is a vibration and everything is a thought wave. The mind, when your mind is very strong, you can achieve a lot as far as physical world is and spiritual world is. If your mind is not powerful, it is not very easy for you to be able to grab anything, whether physically or spiritually. So when you are taking a spiritual bath, we let you put your mental thoughts, your will into the bath, so that it makes it easier for you to break down certain negative energies or whatever is preventing you from achieving your goal. Thank you very much. And I think somebody has replied to Bubune there that greetings, Papa. I trust all is well, and can cleansing be done? That is Tracy Stanley. This is a great question. Yes, Tracy. Yes, it's a very good, great question. But no one can do a cleansing for you when you are physically not there. What we do is we have to ask the spirit or the voodoos that are with us. There are so many voodoos, so we have to ask them which of them will take the vosa on your behalf, so that the voodoo itself will create a way to cleanse you from whatever is disturbing. Because the voodoos are spirit, they are here and there, they can be anywhere at any time. So once one or two of them agrees to or one of them agrees that they are going to take the vosa on your behalf, they will trace you where you are. So they will help cleanse your aura. That's what it is. Thank you. And then we have Kofi Smith here. Good afternoon. Please, I want to know the use of legba. Please, when you get Afa, they will tell you the use of legba. Afa people are the ones who get legba. Unless, of course, if you have a voodoo or you have a joker or a bobo that needs to have a legba, then the person who will make it for you will explain to you what legba is and how to use legba. I don't support people who go to market and buy something and bring home and call it legba. Legba has to be built for an individual or for a community. So legba is said to be the master of the crossroads and a trickster. Those are just things that some of the attributes of legba. But when you are initiated into Ifa or Afa, as in Ewe Voodoo, you need to have a legba. And that legba becomes your servant, one that takes your message into the psychic world and bring messages from the psychic world to your spirits to teach you or to guide you. So just going to have legba without being initiated into anything is not going to help you in any way. You will be deceiving yourself, but you will be thinking that you are spiritual, which you are not. You need to have it built for you. So people who go to botanicals and buy legba or buy anything that has been baked or what do you call it? Ceramic, put inside fire in the oven and then bring to the house and start pouring drink on it and call it that I have legba. It's all, you're all deceiving yourself. Legba need to have herbs inside, and these herbs, once you pass them through fire in an oven, they are destroyed, unless of course you have made them into a black powder, which after making them to black powder, you have to empower the black powder again before using it. So if it is just a botanical legba you bought or whatever, I don't agree. But if somebody has made the legba for you, and the person must be able to tell you what herbs they put into the legba and the things that legba will do for you. And they have so many types of legbas. The Afar legba usually is for security at the gate and also to communicate with the spirit world and the physical world. And then we have a voodoo or joka legba, which also have herbs in it that needs to stand at certain places in your spiritual shrine or in your spiritual journey. We also have some legbas which are made for students who are studying, so that legba is usually placed at their head side. And I think if you look at my son Sena's legba that he has been talking about and carrying about, that was the legba was made for him when he went to high school, so that whenever he has studied at night, and when he studied during the daytime, at night when he is sleeping, the legba will come and be revealing and teaching him what he has learned, so that he can have a memory to remember. So they have so many different types of legba. So legba has to be made for you. It is not like you just buy something from somewhere and you think that you have legba. Yes, of course you will think that you have legba because you don't know. And there's a lot of people out there who is telling you, I will sell legba to you. I will come and buy legba from me. We in every afa and in every voodoo, legba has to be made for you as an individual. So we have Nick Bolo is saying that I'm asking because I like them and I want to get one. Okay, Nick, that's it. Legba, you don't just get them. You have to get a fa, and then they will give you legba, or you have to get a voodoo. If the voodoo needs legba, they will make it for you. But legba is not something you just buy and say you like it, so you buy. We are talking about spiritual things. They are not toys. okay, we have a life education saying life education and well-being say okay. Then we have a user shady. Papa, what does Bodu or Joka benefit from some scent or perfume or powder people put on them? Maria from Jordan. Hello, Mariam. Yeah, you see, we as just as we are human beings, we bath soap. We use soap to cleanse ourselves, and we put perfume oil sometimes, or we put the sprays and all this in, and especially in Arab countries, a lot of people use perfume oils. The same reason why human beings use perfume to uh, put on their wear perfumes on their bodies. The same way spirits also wear these perfumes as well as the powder. Here in Africa, especially in Ghana, where people use the talcum powder as well. People after bathing, even they use it for children, all this. So it is the same. People want to smell good. So the spirit also want to smell good so that sometimes a particular spirit likes a particular smell or perfume. So you may be in the bush in your farm or in at your office, or you are even going to enter into a car, or you are in your private car going, and that same smell will come. The moment that smell comes, it gives you the knowledge and understanding that that spirit which is in your shrine or which is at your shrine somewhere is around you. So the spirits are using these smells to identify themselves and to tell you the difference between other spirits and them. So just for the reason why we human beings we wear perfume, it is for those same reason that spirits also wear perfume. For instance, take for that someone who wears Giorgio Armani, is it not Giorgio? Yeah. Giorgio Armani perfume or cologne or whatever. And if that person wears that one for a long time, or wearing Armani, Arabis, or whatever, moment you come in contact with that person, you smell that thing, and it registers on your mind that this person wears this. So even if the person is not there and he passes through there, if you smell the smell, you will know that this person had been here or was here at one time or not too long ago. So you can identify people by the perfumes that they wear too, not only by their faces. Sometimes you can identify people by the perfumes that they wear. So spirits also use perfumes and talcum powders to identify themselves, to wear it, to have a good smell, and also to use it to communicate with the people they deal with. Thank you very much. And then we have Raphael Delani here. Say, good afternoon, Papa. Please, can one put his or her request before his or her afa? If so, how is it done? Thank you from Delali say. Delali, I think the person who has taught you afa, I know we spoke about this before. Let me please do this for me. Go put this head, put this one inside water. Put them all inside water because the air conditioner will dry them. Okay. And the small one, you can plant it back. Yes, plant it back at the gate or somewhere. So, Delali, you have to know how to speak to Fa or your Afa. There's a way they speak to Afa. People will call the name of Fa and invoke all the oracles as from Wali Bemeji, Yekumeji, and all these things. And then there is a way that you break the V, and then also Atakui, how you give it to your what do you call Afa, police Afa, how you do that. And there's a way to do your hand and then also talking. So you need to learn it. It's not something that I'm coming to teach online here. People, not everybody who has Afa, so I cannot be teaching all the Afa secrets on the online. But if you can talk to your Fa and make a request to your Fa, but then there is a way to do it. Uh, Either if you yourself, you can do a reading, you can ask the Fa, what can I bring to you if I want to make this request? But if you cannot do a reading by yourself, you can ask anybody who can do a reading on your behalf to let you know what your Fa wants and how you can call your Fa and make a request. Of course, you cannot have spirits that you just keep them and be looking at them and they cannot work for you and they are not of any use to you. It is stupidity to keep a spirit that or be feeding a spirit that doesn't work for you. And just like what our people have been doing for ages, going to church without any result, yet out of fear and intimidation, they continue going, hoping that one day when they die, they will go to heaven and all problems. If your problem cannot be solved here, your problem cannot be solved in heaven. So when you have a Fa or you have a say, if you cannot talk to your say and your say will listen to you and communicate with you and fulfill your request, then what's the use of having these things? We are here to learn how to work the spirit world. And then if you don't know how to work with the spirit world and get benefits, what is the use of doing spiritual things? Then Mario Young went on to say, Daddy, the perfume oils you're talking about, do you prepare and empower them with herbs, or can you bring the perfume they use to you and you use your own portion to empower it and enhance the vibration? I'm not very clear with your question, Mario, but you see, there are certain spirits that have a particular perfume oil that they use. Okay, like there's a voodoo that I have is called Sugu. Sugu uses a particular perfume called Danduala. Danduala. And when I do all the prayers with Sugu, that is the oil I give, pour on it like a drink, but that's the perfume oil that it uses. So there is no herb inside the perfume Danduala. It's just I pour it on the voodoo itself. Okay. And there's a voodoo I have called Alajadu. It uses rose perfume or rose oil. So whenever I invoke it and I'm working with it, I give it rose oil and then I continue working with it. So when I am here that I start to smell rose oil, immediately I will know that Alajadu is either here or is trying to communicate with me. So it is not that you only have to empower the oil with herbs, but there are certain voodoos that are made out of the perfume oil and herbs. For instance, Akai, like this one. Akai is herbs and the perfume oil that goes into the bottle because the perfume oil are also made out of herbs. So you add the herbs and pour the perfume oil onto it to enhance and also to add more herbal power to this. And we use oil the perfume oil is the voodoo. The perfume oil is the voodoo. You see, if you can see my hand, what do you call it? Said, bring the. If people can see me, see in this bottle there is the oil, Akai's oil that is in there. That's what I was opening. So the oil and the herbs join together to form the voodoo. So it is not only even the smell. If you are here, you can just smell the smell already. So I give this one to people to use and go and do whatever you do. Means I'm asking the voodoo to accompany you to wherever you are going so that you can go through the day successfully. Yeah. So There are certain voodoos that are made out of herbs and perfume oils. Yeah, so that's what it is. But then there's some voodoos that need oil. They uses perfume oil. They don't need herbs to be added to the oil before you give them. You give the voodoo directly, and the voodoo itself is a voodoo already. So the oil is either is something that it likes to wear, or using it as a drink, or whatever. We don't understand, but they ask and we give. Yes, and then Mario, then we have Raf Delali saying, okay, thank you. Saying thank you to Delali. And then we have Mario say, oh, I hope my question is clear. That is sorry if I have confused you with the question. No, I understood, but it wasn't very clear. But later I read it and understood. That's why I am answering it. So thank you very much, Mario. And do we have anybody on Clubhouse who wanted to say anything?
Good morning, Mr. Bokor. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you very clear. Near Zil. Yes.
Yes, this is Zio from Los Angeles.
Yes.
I think I missed something in what you just said. Did you say something like using certain oils will help you identify which Voldoon has appeared or has been or is present or something like that?
Yes, what I said about that, we were asking a question about oils and perfumes. Why somebody asked a question, why do we give perfume to voodoos and talcum powders to voodoo? So I was explaining that some voodoos wear perfume just like how we human beings also wear perfume. They like the perfume, and we can identify that voodoo even though physically you will not see the voodoo. You may be somewhere and you will just smell that smell of the oil that that voodoo uses. Then immediately you can now relate that voodoo is now present or is now trying to communicate with you. So the voodoo sometimes can use the oil or the perfume oils that they use or perfumes that they use to be able to identify themselves. That's what I said.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. Okay, that's very interesting. And so now I have another question, which is just in terms of things that individual people like, just to say that they just like certain scents, for example, does that have any relationship to any connection or relationship to any spirituality or voodoos? Is there anything that you can analyze or say that about them just based on their preferences?
I don't get your question very clear. See, if people like something, you mean like food or clothing or what?
Okay, well, let's just say, for example, you use the example of rose oil and it's identified with a specific voodoo, right?
Yes.
And then there's a person who always loves rose oil. I mean, is there a relationship between loving or liking something and a voodoo?
I cannot tell because that is a very vague question in the sense that somebody likes to eat pizza and he's eating pizza. So what relationship does that have to do with voodoo or whatever? Or somebody likes to wear some kind of clothes. If the person is having the voodoo already and decide to be wearing certain kind of clothes to match that of the voodoo, then that's a different story. That will be an individual question to such people. But generally, I cannot tell why people like what they like.
Mm.
Yes, I cannot tell why.
Okay, and then so if they know, for example, that a certain voodoo likes a certain thing and they do it, then what does that mean?
If they know that certain voodoo likes a particular perfume or scent and they want to attract that voodoo and they think that they are using uh, that particular oil in order to attract that voodoo, yes, that's something. But the truth about you attracting a voodoo without getting initiated, it's not going to happen. But there are thousands of voodoos in the world who uses maybe the same type of perfume. but it may not be the voodoo that the person is talking about. So how would you know that the voodoo that I spoke about is the one that is coming to you when you start to use rose oil? There are 1,001 voodoos in the or spirits in the world that use rose oil. But if you are introduced to the voodoo and then you are using that, I think with zeal, every time your question is very good question, but I think you are finding it very difficult to commit yourself, like you want to get initiated or get into the voodoo or whatever. See, there's nothing you can, there's nothing you can, there is nothing you can do in the air and think that you will get results. If you want to commit yourself to something.
That's so insightful. I'm sorry, I have to just say, I definitely have commitment issues in my entire life.
Yes, because if you are not committed, you want to learn about some energy, you want to associate with something without really committing yourself to it, you don't expect that it will be useful to you, because spiritual relationship is just like human relationship. If I don't know you and you don't know me, well, how do I expect to get anything good from you? I don't have any relationship with you, and then just because I saw you wearing your hair on one style, then I start to cut my hair that style or start to wear my hair that way, and I think that I will be able to attract to you or you'll be attracted to me. No, that doesn't happen in spirituality, and it's even in physical where it hardly happens. But then if I make an effort to talk to you and introduce myself to you, and then tomorrow if you see me wearing your clothing or wearing the same perfume that you wear, then somehow you will see that, oh, this person likes me even is wearing my clothing. So why won't I approach this person? So the spirit world is not a crazy and stupid world. It is very organized and it is on a straight path. Unlike we human beings who don't know what we are doing, spirits know what they are doing. Yeah. So if you want to
Thank
learn,
you.
yes, if you want to learn about spirituality, commit yourself to it and learn about it. And then until you begin to experience your spirituality, all other things that you may write about or discuss will only be hearsay of somebody.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking in general, and I appreciated your answer. And what I heard you say was, people can just like things, but things don't really work for you in particular ways unless you become initiated, which you repeated by saying one has to commit. So I
Yes.
understood that.
Yes,
Thank
because
you.
if you people say, what do they call this one? There is a very common orisha that a lot of people in the diaspora, like the one who is wearing white. Eh? Oh, no, 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 not Oladu, this is the most common one, Obatala. You know, a lot of people love Obatala, some people love Shango and whatever, and then people wear red for Shango, people wear white for Obatala, they go buy beads and put on their neck without really getting initiated or having any knowledge apart from saying that Obatala likes white or wear white. And a lot of people think that once you are wearing Obatala's beads and you are wearing white means Obatala is with you. It's a lie, it's not with you. And it's not dealing with you in any way. You need to get connected to that Obatala through spiritual initiation or connection, and then only when you are wearing white and you are wearing Obatala beads, then it makes sense to the spirit itself and you yourself. Mind you, these things are not religious way whereby when you put a cross on your neck means you are a Christian. You need to connect with them. Okay, let's go on to YouTube. Mario Young is saying I can rephrase the question. Example, I use Amani and I want to use the perfume oil as attraction for my work. So can I use Amani as an attraction tool, or should it be only the perfume oil? Okay, if you use Amani as your perfume oil, and you want that amani to be what when people smell that amani, it should have a spiritual and a mental connection to you. Then you need to empower that amani perfume through some spiritual things, either by adding herbs to it, or the person who will make them for you would add herbs to it, or they will have to empower the amani with a particular energy, even though the spirit doesn't use amani, but then they will give the amani to the spirit to tell the spirit that you are going to be using this as your attraction weapon. So the spirit should empower it so that when you use amani, your business and partners and all people you are dealing with will be attracted to you. It can be done that way, but by just using Amani and thinking that spirit, you are praying to spirit Amani, there's no spirit Amani I know. It maybe there is a spirit called Amani. Then maybe if you are dealing with that spirit of Amani, then probably it would work that way. But if you are dealing with our African voodoos, which don't have the name as Amani, that you want them to use the Amani oil to be your spiritual attraction weapon, then it has to be infused and empowered with the energy of any of the voodoos that bring attraction to people. Thank you, Mario. Yes, Mario, that will give to us for use. Yes, yes, it is possible. Then Mario went on to say, thank you, Daddy, for the answer. And Danilo Mberi said, good day, sir. Please, does Jokpata also like some perfumes? Yes, Jokpata likes some perfume, but Jokpata's perfumes that when I started working with Jokpata, then the first perfume that were used were just, it was not even perfume, it was olive oil. The olive oil, but then it was the olive oil was mixed with the eggs of a particular animal, and the egg was broken and added to the oil, the olive oil, and then when we are praying, we pour some on him. But over the years, somehow it's not very easy to get the egg of that animal, so I have not been doing it. But then, yes, Jopata also has some oil, but it's not like a perfume because the olive oil doesn't have any scent. But when you add the egg of that particular animal to it, after some time, it develops a very strong scent that you can tell that this is Jopata. Thank you very much, Danilo. Okay, then we have who again? I think we are done with Facebook. Nick Bolo said, please, my question was not answered. Okay, let's, because they say I'm asking because I only saw one question here. So I'm asking because I like them and want to get one. So I thought you were talking about Legba, but let's go up and see if your question is there. The original question. I didn't see any question. I only saw that, and I knew we were talking about Legba. So I thought it was the Legba you were talking about. But I had explained about Legba, but your question, because the person who asked the question didn't use the name Nick Bolo, he used a different name, and then I tried to answer that question for him. But then I thought you were also talking about Legba. That's why I was saying uh, what I discussed about Legba. So if we couldn't see any other question from you than that, I like them. That's why I want to get one. So if you can resend the question to me, yeah. So I'm asking because I like them and want to get one.
Didn't show up.
The question didn't show, but is it there?
Yes.
Okay. If the question is there, please send it. Let it show so that I can answer the question for you. But why, how come the question didn't show?
It's Facebook.
Facebook is doing that.
Yes.
Okay.
They hit the question.
They hit the question. Okay. Okay. So is that's a question there?
Yes.
You brought it under revolution.
Yes.
Can the cowries sold as jewelry in the market be possessed by spirits since cowries are used for divination? No, they cannot be possessed by any spirit because they are, a cowrie on its own is just a cowrie. It can never be possessed by anything. That's why when we use cowries for divination, as I had taught in the past, we have to empower the cowries with herbs. We use what we call talking herbs, herbs that can communicate. We empower them, we initiate the cowries. It's not just cowries, it's for cowries sake. There are herbs in it, and sometimes animal bloods are dropped on them, perfumes are added to them, and then they are dedicated for divination. I mean, not just buy cowries and then you think that they possess power. No. But some people do thinking that they, by doing so they have power, but that's it. But in the hands of a master spiritualist, whether cowries have been empowered in by herbs or not, because the master spiritualist has spirits around him already. So when he picks a cowrie, all the spirits that had been working with him already knows that he wants to ask a question. And he may ask a particular spirit in his mind that the spirit should take charge of these cowries and tell him what is happening. So when he throws the cowries can now talk, even though they have not been empowered by the herbs. So it is, you cannot just buy cowries in the market and think that they are possessed by spirits. No. Yes, we have seen the question now, and then they brought it. Facebook has hidden it, but the technical team was able to get it out. So, Nick Bolo, that's my answer to your question. Thank you very much and for the patience. We have Jal Chochi. Greetings, and I'm learning so much. Thank you, Jal Chochi. We are very grateful about oils and their association. Oh, thank you, thank you. How have you been? It's been a while. My regards to everybody. Thank you very much. Then we have Togbe Jibezan Sesoka say greetings and good day, Papa Bokor Anuledo. America Mede Anudeolo Anuledo now Bokor Sesoka Jibeza. Thank you very much for joining the section. Have they fed the birds?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then Nick Bolo, bring it up. Okay, let me start from the top before. Yeah, then we have Bubune Tameklo saying, Papa, is it safe to bargain when buying spiritual items from the market? It depends on everybody. Usually, when I go to the market to buy spiritual items for a particular work, especially works that I want to do that will attract business to people, I try as much as possible to avoid bargaining. Whatever price they asked me or they told me, if I have that money on me, I pay and take the item. And even with initiations too, for me, it's the same. When I need some initiation and I know that it's very important for me, when I ask you how much would you take to initiate me into this energy or this knowledge or wisdom, when you call the money for me, I'll ask you to be very open and be free within your heart. Tell me how much you want me to give you so that I can learn this. Once the person decide how much they want to take from me, I don't bargain. I just pay and I take it. But there are certain places people may bargain and it is okay for them. But the way I do my spiritual work, I want it to be perfect, because when you want to do spiritual, you want to learn from a spiritualist, and it is your desire to learn that thing and use it for your own benefit in the future, or now and in the future. Mind you, once that lesson is taught to you, it's forever. Your children's children's children, if you maintain it, will benefit from it. But the person who is teaching you will only benefit from it once. You should keep that in mind. So sometimes people will want to take a lot of money from you before teaching you a secret, because they know that once that secret gets into your hand, you too, you are going to make use of it and probably benefit from it, and your children may benefit from it. So when you go on bargaining, what the person may do is that he will withdraw some of the secrets of the what he's teaching you, because the money he or she has asked you, you did not give, and so they will also withhold some of the information in the knowledge that he wanted to share with you, or the wisdom that he wanted to impact on you. So for me, as a spiritualist, and I still maintain that indeed until yesterday or every day, until today, that when I am going to do a spiritual thing and I think it's what I need, I will ask the person, how bad do you think if I give you, you will be happy within your heart of hearts and impact this knowledge on me? And if the person says the money, if I don't have that money, I'm not going to bargain and say, okay, or let me give you this, or let me give you that. I'll say, okay, I've heard you. I will. Then I wait. I try to gather the money. I will gather the money. I don't care how long it takes me to gather the money. But once I gather the money, I'll go straight to the person and give the person, okay, I want to learn this here. And you told me you will take this much money. This is your money. Please teach me. And most often, the people open their hearts and they teach me very well. This is how I deal with my spiritual work. I don't know how other people deal with their spiritual work, but that's the way Christopher Voncujovi, I deal with my spiritual work, and I think I'm teaching my children also to be on the same lane with me, because people who are sharing knowledge sometimes, if they realize that you just want to take advantage of them, they will give you something that will not be useful to you or to anybody. But you think that you are smarter than them and you have taken their knowledge, but you will go out there, you will still be struggling, looking for how to work the spirit or the information they give to you. So this is my secret in getting all these information that I'm sharing with you for free. And I want to go ahead to say that sometimes people think that when you do a reading, it is for fun. By doing a reading, you have touched the spiritual or the psychic world. And if whatever the reading says and tell you to do and you don't follow it, it is not the Bokor or the priest or the spiritualist that is losing anything. It is you who has touched the spiritual world and things have been revealed to you, and you know that those things that have been revealed to you are truths. The spirit world also knows that you try to peep into the spirit world to know what is happening to you. So when these things are done and you feel like, oh, I don't want to do the ritual. For me, as a priest, or any priest for that matter, who is a real priest, may not care whether you do the rituals or you don't do the rituals. It does not matter. You ask us to find out what is going on in your life, and we were able to find it out for you. And it was, if it is not 100%, at least it was 90+% true to what you wanted to know. And if you decide not to do it one way or the other, that's your palaver. It's absolutely your problem. It's not like you give me money to buy items to do your work for you, means that makes me rich. Yes, when I work for you, I'll take my workmanship from you. The monies that you take to go and buy materials in the market before doing your work doesn't come into my pocket. goes to the market person or the person who is selling those things into their pockets. So a lot of time people think that when you charge them your workmanship, that means the workmanship for your workmanship is what you should take, and every other things too you should buy it from the workmanship. I don't work like that. I would prefer that you buy the items, bring them to me, let me work for you and take my workmanship. But if unfortunately you are not physically here in Ghana or in Africa and you cannot send anybody to buy it for you, we will buy them for you, but we will give the money to the people who are selling them. The money doesn't come to us. A lot of people make that mistake. And then somewhere along the person feel that, oh, I don't want to do the rituals. I don't have a problem with that. That is your problem, because it is you who has a problem and you wanted to know. And I told you what it is. Whether you follow up, you don't follow up, it is your palaver. At the end of the day, whatever will happen or whatever will not happen is not coming to me. It is coming to you because it is absolutely your problem. And then we have Jane Tiffany Mamisewa Akofo, my daughter, spiritual daughter in the US, saying, "Good afternoon, Papa." Hello, Mamisewa, how are you? Thank you very much for joining. And then we have Nick Bolo say, "Thank you for the clarification." Thank you to Nick. We're very grateful. Thank you. Okay, we have Selassie Doreen on WhatsApp, and Tabang Babawakiri, who wants to ask any question from the Zoom. What is that? Babawakiri is to who everyone, the power of Christ compels you down with this heresy. Yeah, of course, it's people are using that to intimidate others. Okay, I think nobody on Zoom wants to say anything as at the moment. So, anybody on Clubhouse that wanted to say anything?
Mr. Bokor, just following on the question that I asked before. So I know it sounds like probably common sense, but so from what you said, I got that in order for anything that has to do with Vodun to work, or Vodun to work, you have to go through initiation. You have to be initiated. The Vodus will not speak to or communicate or give signs to anyone unless they've been initiated. Is that what you were saying?
Exactly. Let's forget about voodoo. When you want to get onto the internet, if you don't have a computer or you don't have a handset or tablet, will you be able to get onto the internet?
Right, right, right. So okay, so then the next question, which is what ultimately the bigger question is what I was thinking of. If there is no one around who's able to initiate someone, because you said that it's very ordered. There's an order to it. It's not random. It's not spontaneous. It doesn't just the information just doesn't descend on any particular person or people. Then that means if there isn't anyone who's a trained practitioner around, then it can die.
No.
No one would ever learn how to do it?
No. Anything that you want, if you really want it, you will get it. I left my village in Hohoi, which is very, very remote village in Ghana, came all the way to Accra, and went all the way to India to learn. Anything you want to learn in this life, if you are really serious about it, you will learn about it. You will find it. So that saying there's no trained person, so you cannot get. If you are serious and you want to learn, you will find someone. There is a saying in spirituality that when the student is ready, the teacher will always appear. So if it is your desire to learn, there is no. It's not an excuse to say that there is no trained teacher around. That is not an excuse.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Environmental. Okay. It may sound silly to some, but I would ask it. I know each part of our body is connected to a spirit, is connected to the belly on the other side of the belly. What is the, like, essay is important, our heart is important, our words are important, every part of us. What is the importance of the big toe on the human body? Because without the big toe, it is hard to balance the feet. What is the importance spiritually in voodoo of the big toe of the body? Thank you.
Okay, I'm not very sure whether I know what is the importance of the big toe in spiritual practice. As in voodoo, I cannot tell because I don't think I have learned that. But I know in acupuncture and also in what do you call it? So many things. Indian way of teach. Okay, when it comes into my head, I'll say it. But then there is a way when you go to you are learning in Hinduism and in allopathy and homeopathy and all these uh, things. They have connections of the body to the brain. And since the brain houses our mind, or is the main place where the mind functions, you will assume that maybe those spots in the brain that corresponds with the big toe or the thumbs and the palm and all the other parts may be connected somehow to the mind. And the mind is spirit, it's not physical thing, but then the brain being a physical thing is where the human mind somehow settles or dwells in. Even though the mind can live outside the body and still function, that's why when it comes into spiritual will, you can will without you physically going, but then the thing will happen over there. That's where Besa, Joka, and all these voodoo things are. That the mind can dwell outside the human body and still act and work. So I am not very sure whether in allopathy or homeopathy, which part of the big toe it is. But then, just like as you said yourself, every part of the body is very useful to the other, and we are useful to human beings and to our spiritual development. Definitely, there must be something that the big toe would do as far as voodoo is concerned, but I don't know.
Thank you, Papa. Just that answer alone, though, has kind of opened up an eggshell, and here's the verse. The mind is not a physical thing, the brain is.
Yes.
But you have identified the mind as being a spirit. The first question is the essay the mind of the person? That's the first question. And if it is not, what is the mind a shared spirit, or does it have an individual property? First question, is the mind being identified as a spirit, the essay of the person? Or is the mind a coexisting thing that can be individualized at any given time? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Baba Wakiri. I think, according to the Aves, the human mind and the human soul and the spirit of your individual identity as your destiny are all intertwined with each other. So to separate the mind from the spirit is not possible, and to separate the spirit from the mind is not possible. Because take for instance, the mind dwells in the brain, and when you are dead, the mind continues living. But then to show an example, how will the mind continue living when you are dead? Take sleep, for instance. When you go to bed, your other body, all the other parts of the organs of your body are relaxed. The mind comes to relaxation, the arms, the eyes, and everything. Maybe only the nose is working seriously at that time because it's bringing air in and bringing air out. Your ears are kind of shut, you don't hear anything. But your mind, which is your spirit, is in your dream world and traveling and performing many actions that your brain is recording, or your mind is still recording itself as it moves about in the dream world. And sometimes when you wake up, your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind comes together, and the conscious mind is able to pick the information and then keep it for you to remember what you saw in your dream. So the same thing happens in death, because death is only a sleep that you don't wake up from. That's the difference between sleeping and waking up and dying. Death is only a sleep that you don't wake up from, but your mind, your spirit, your destiny, your soul continue being active and moving on. So to say whether the soul and the body and the spirit are different, I think they are all intertwined with each other, and there is no way you can separate one from the other.
So spiritually, we know they are one. Okay. Like in the church, they say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. In Africa, we say the mother, the father, the child.
Yes.
Um, would it be an aspect like that? Is it a hierarchy? Is it a spiritual chain of command?
There is possibility that there is a chain of command, because in the Ava concept of the Trinity, which is Mauga Sobo Lisa, meaning the chameleon, Lisa meaning the chameleon, that which changes each time, every time it is continuously changing. That's why it's called Mauga Sobo Lisa. It is the one that is continuously changing, and it is not permanent. And then we have the Mauga Kitikata, that which is always putting things together to be together and whole as the physical world. Then we are having the Mauga Esse, which is the destiny that is the third force of these three trinity. So your destiny, your as God, the creator, the God the operator, and the God the destroyer. These three energies are working together. So there must be some hierarchy. But then, as I thought in the past, the Aves celebrate the Mauga Esse more than the Mauga Sogolisa and Mauga Kitikata, because Esse is believed to be you, is the one who creates you as an individual. So Aves have got more celebration and paying more homage to this. There are so many Aves who do not know about Mauga Sobolisa or Mauga Kitikata, but they know about Esse. Because Esse is the name given to most children, because we pay so much homage to its presence, that is the one that made us to be here, and when we are here, it's one that guides us, and when we are going to live here, is the one that's going to guide us to get out of this physical plane again, and then again come with us whenever the time is to appear as physical being again. Meanwhile, the Esse, the Ori, the spirit and everything doesn't die. The soul doesn't die. It continues moving.
So the Maka essay is the essay of us
Yes.
as we transcend from state to the physical place.
Right. That's how we believe in every cosmology. That's why sometimes there are certain readings you will do, and they'll tell you that the person has got some dirt on them. But this dirt is not coming from the physical world. They inherited it from the other world before coming into this physical world, and it needs to be cleansed from the person. It's not acquired this dirt or information is not acquired or the negativity is not acquired in this physical world, but it came with the person before they were born.
So the other two Malgas, would that be our mind and our soul? As in Malga Esse is our Esse? It, does that correspond
The,
like that?
the Esse is believed to be a woman because it's only women who can give birth. So people sometimes call it Esse Dada, which is your mother in the psychic plane and has sent you here to pass through certain things. And when your time is back, you go back to that Ese Dada. Ese Dada means mother in Ewe, in some this is so. The Ese Dada is the one who sent you to come here. And then when he has she has a mission for you, or you give your pledge to your estate that okay, when I go into the world, this is what I want to do, this is what I will be doing, and when I am done by this time, I'll come back to you. And then she blesses you and you are gone and you are born like a baby somewhere, or you came into some woman's womb as a fetus and finally developed into human being and was born. And then when you come into that to the physical world, you start to perform the things that you came here for. Initially, being a child, you may not know why you are here, but as you grow, your destiny will begin to show itself, and certain things will become very prominent and visible for yourself and for people. And then when you follow on that time, and until your journey is finished, you will still remain here. But when your journey is done, or you are done with the work you came here to do, one day, whichever way your ancestor will call you, it is up to you and him or her.
Thank you. My last follow-up question to this would be, we are all born from that source.
Mm.
But it is important if we want to connect with things that have been here before we have, to live our lives more pleasurably and to be able to handle the situations that come of red and negativity. That we must get initiated to have this interaction. A person that is overall good in life, treats other people well, has a form of spiritual adornment to the Creator. May not know a name, may not be sure of what they want to follow, and they are not initiated. What could be a process for this person to become more spiritually strengthened? They don't know where to go, but naturally, as a human being, being connected to these things, you are in spirit. I've always thought about like this earth that I am on is in space. So that makes me a Martian. So as a Martian already, in this human spirit, I am a spirit. So, concerned people are not ready to take that step of initiation, doing different things.
Okay.
What would you suggest for as a raw human being that we do to help fortify our spiritual energy? Thank you.
Okay, Baba Wakiri, before I go on to that, I want you to understand that in the every concept of essay or destiny, and in every other culture's concept of destiny. What you are here to do is what you come here to do. If you are going to be able to learn about any other thing, if your essay or your destiny has not brought you to learn that, there is no way you can come in contact with learning that. There's no other way. So whatever you are here for is what you are here for. Your essay data or your essay has sent you here, and everything has been given into into your memory. What else you should do, where you will get this, where you will find, like the map, your destiny road map has been given to you. And if it is not your time to get initiated into anything, there is no way people will be talking about initiation and it will interest you. You can be religious. You can go and dance in the church and call whichever God you think that is the God that is guiding your life, and dance and do all kind of things. You will not have the chance to get to the true path where you can begin to develop yourself spiritually, because that is not in your destiny. And you should also remember that people came into this world many, many times before coming again. We may come as black people today, tomorrow we may not be black, because if our destiny does not send us to become black, or whatever they will send us, that's where we will go, depending on whatever effort we make in this life at this current physical lifetime. And that's what will determines what our next birth is going to be like. So people who are very religious and are drawing angels flying in heaven and all this thing, that is the way they are supposed to be, because they are also impacting some knowledge on certain people. And don't forget that there are some new human beings who are coming out of animal and entering into human physical body, are beginning to learn. Because supposing a dog whose mind has now jumped into a physical, because that dog has interacted with human beings and a human space, and its mind and the nervous system in its brain has grown bigger than normal dogs. Do you know there are some dogs that behave more like a human being than an animal? Such animals are more related to human being because they have had so many interactions, and then they pick the human knowledge. So sometimes for them to be born again, they'll be born human being, but their behavior will become more of an animal behavior than human behavior. They will fight for food, sex, look for shelter, and also to kind of procreate. All these things. These are the main things. That's what they will behave like. But then after they came into the world many, many, many times, they will be refined and become more human, and then their desire to get that spiritual path, to get back to the source of creation, will arise in them. So that's why voodoo does not convert people. You don't need to convert people. Everybody will come at their right time and get the right thing. Let people go to church. Don't force them not to go to church and they should come to voodoo. No. Let people go and dance, play drums, and they will dance around. Fine. Fine. That's okay. When their time comes for them to go into the path that will take them out of this, they have planes, and then we have rockets. We have airplane and we have rockets. Some people will be many people will take plane and move, but then some few people who have their heart can jump into a rocket and shoot to space. It's not everybody who can be in a rocket and go to space. Some people cannot survive it. So each and every human being or every entity on this earth will have their opportunity to get the chance to get closer to the great, which some call God, some may call it some may call it whatever you call it. But there is the inner desire to be great, and each and every soul, destiny, mind will have that opportunity at their own right time. So you don't have to worry whether someone has not been introduced to this and he may not know. At their right time, they will find a way, whether in this lifetime or in another lifetime or in another lifetime. Nobody knows. That is depend on our destiny. Our destinies will take us here. They brought us here, and they will take us out of here. And how many times we might have come here, we don't even know. But then when we start to grow and begin to realize that there are certain things more important than others for some people, then we follow our destiny. To some people, even today, it is just going to associate with where there is happiness and nothing to do with spirituality. But then there are certain people who also take spirituality so seriously upon themselves that other things do not matter anymore. We are all not equal. Our destinies are not the same. And each and every person will come at their right time. So if there is nothing to convert people, it's only religions that are built on the base of business, trade, how to make other people subjects so that you have become the leader to be able to collect from them and force them, that convert people. Spirituality does not need conversion. Each and every destiny will find their own time to get closer.
Thank you, Papa, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, and it brings a deeper understanding, and to know thyself is most important, and to understand that the people around you are a reflection of, what you see and what other people may go through in different expressions of destiny, and for you to be able to focus and, share all of that and get into where you are. But in reality, if a person is out there dancing with the penguins, that's where their destiny has taken them to dance with the penguins. And we shouldn't try to go out there on that ice and get frostbitten, trying to tell them, hey, we got some warm porridge over here. They might just like eating cold fish. Well, that's what they're supposed to.
Sure. Yeah, that's what they. That's where they are. That's what their level is. You cannot force them because there were people who were even made into priests. Voodoo, not to the Catholic priests or other priests of Christianity, but it got to a point they left the priesthood and joined and went to the path that will make their souls develop and yearn for more. Yeah. Because religion does not satisfy them. Maybe initially it attracted them, but when they went there, they realized that that is not where they belong. They move out. So each and every one will come at our own time. That's why whatever I teach here, I am not teaching people to convert people to become into African traditional spirituality. I am only here to explain what African traditional spirituality is, what our ancestors did. And that's why I invite questions from all of you. Ask me what is confusing you about African traditional spirituality, what you are not clear about. Then I try to analyze and clear it for you. But my mission here is not to convert you to become an African traditional spiritualist. No, at all. I am only explaining the understanding and also demystifying what our tradition is, was, and would be, that other people try to say it was evil. I am here only to demystify that fear that when you are with your own, you should be afraid of them. But then if you are with the foreigner, you should know that they love you. But then on the physical plane, we've all seen in that the foreigner cannot love you more than yourself and more than your own people. It is a deceit, but then a lot of people bought into that deceit, and it is continuing in the newer generation. That's why they say catch them young. So when you start to control the children's mind towards the belief that there is a white God that loves them while they are in this life, they cannot see that that white God is loving them And it's only they are saying only white people who are having all the goodies in life, and the black people are still struggling over that thing. The children, because they capture them so young and their mind is thinking of fairy tales, believing that those are realities, but it's a deceit. And yet still they are capturing them young, and it is no more the colonizer who is doing this. It is our own people who are taking advantage of this on our own people. That's the pain. That's why I train my children from childhood to understand life very early, and understand that there is no one coming to save you. It is you and you alone who will come and save yourself. There's no savior coming from anywhere. It is up to you to save yourself. So I teach them early to understand life, and they should face life squarely and be able to overcome the challenges that will come across in life through spirituality.
Alright, stay, thanks you, Papa. I will, receive and hand the mic over to other willing souls. Thanks.
Thank you, Baba Wakili. Okay, we have a Nick Bolo. Do you want to speak, Nick? Okay, if Nick, okay, ask them to unmute. Whoever wants to speak can. Doreen, if you want to say anything or ask any question, go ahead. Okay, Nuku, do you want to ask some question?
Greetings, Papa. This is Patty.
Hello, Kadi. Ah, you left the Zoom room. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Kadi.
I have a question. I know that several people were asking questions about buying like spiritual things inside of the market and then connecting to like and things of that nature without initiation. Can you explain the danger to that? Because what happens when people associate themselves with a spirit, or call upon a spirit like a ligba or whatever, without formal initiation, and they don't know themselves. So they could be working with the spirit or think that they're working with the spirit, and they have not been initiated in the spirit. And what? How do you know that this spirit is working with you for your good, or is it going to be detrimental to you, or even kill you?
Yes, Kadi, thank you very much for that question. I started spiritual practice from a very early age. I personally started this spiritual practicing from very early age, even though I was not so much into African traditional spirituality, because it was so hidden from us. And even though our grandparents were practicing, but because of the colonization and the mentality that if you are doing anything that is your own, is evil, our ancestors and some of our ancestors and our uh, uh, fathers, grandfathers hid a lot from us. So I was into a lot of Kabbalah from a very early age, and spirit invocation. And what I was told from the very beginning, my teachers made me to understand that before you invoke any spirit, you should know about the spirit, what the spirit does, what it likes, what it doesn't like, and the hour that you can call the spirit, and the spirit will be free enough to work with you. So I had all this knowledge from my younger days as a spiritual aspirant or desired student. So when people go to get spirits that you don't know anything about, and you invoke a spirit, maybe it is not even that spirit. Anything else can just come in and say, "I am Baba Leba. I am this spirit. I am that spirit." But since you don't know anything about it, you have not been introduced into it, you may think that what you are saying uh, is the real thing. Whatever you are saying is the real thing, but you will be putting yourself into problem. There was there was a situation with one of my students. She lives in Sweden, and she had before she met me, it was through some mental challenges that she had had. That was how I got introduced to her, and she had a very serious mental breakdown, and she was seeing things, and she was communicating with things and other things. But then when she came to me, when they introduced her to me, even before I met her physically, I did certain spiritual things to stop the spirit that was bothering her so that I could see her. So when I did that, she calmed down, and we were able to meet physically, and then she started learning from me. And but then from time to time she was off, on and off. So we did a reading one day, and then some spirit came to speak. We did an invocation, and that spirit came to speak and said it was Mata. Is it Bloody Mary Mata or something? Kofi, can you remember? The spirit that came to speak. There was some, okay, maybe at Sarah. Yeah, I remember. So the spirit came to say that she was the one haunting her. It was a female spirit. So we saw that spirit's name, but we have never heard about that spirit before. So through conversation, we asked her, "What is this spirit? What has she ever heard about this?" Then she said, "Yes. There was a lady on the internet that was teaching them how to use spirits to attack their enemies, and that there was a lady friend of her who did something bad." Eh? Mata abdominal Laura? No, Mata something. It was Mata something bloody. Yeah. So anyway, let's forget about the spirit name. So that spirit said that it was the one tormenting her. So we asked the spirit what was the distance. So she made a pledge to her, but she did not fulfill the pledge, and that's but she had worked for her, and she did not fulfill the pledge. So that's why she was tormenting her. So we asked this my dear student what was the issue, how did she get to know the spirit. So through someone who was teaching on internet, and she picked the information, and then she did not invocation, but she just used the spirit's name to, and then attack her friend, and truly her friend fell into trouble, and she was happy. So we asked the energy, what would she take from her before leaving her, and she said that she has to do a 9 weeks of novena with a candle for her, and that will only pacify her. So I had to follow through the 9 weeks of novena. Every Tuesday every Tuesday we will do the candle burning at a certain time, and eventually at the 9th week, after we finished the novena, she was freed from the work of the vengeance of that spirit, and she became okay. So when you are dealing with spirit without getting initiation and you don't know anything, you don't know which spirit you are dealing with, and that it may be the spirit you thought you are dealing with. It may not be. Anything could come across, and there are thousands and thousands of millions of energies in the world looking for an opportunity to express themselves. And then, if you happen to be the unfortunate one, and you get a spirit that comes to you that you don't know how to handle, it could it will be a very devastating to your life. It could even end you dead. You could end up destroying someone, and you end up in jail or whatever. So the question Kadi asks is, is very, very relevant because before people want to deal with any spirit whatsoever, it is good to know about that spirit. And the best is to get introduced to the spirit, which is called initiation. If you get introduced to the spirit, that is what initiation is all about. You and then the person who is introducing you must also might have dealt with that spirit for some time and know how to communicate and deal with the spirit and so that when he or she teaches you, you know you are in the right place. And should any problem come when you are on the path, and that person should be the immediate first call to make. It's like learning how to ride a bicycle. When you start riding a bicycle, somebody will be holding it for you, then you'll be paddling. And as you gather experience over time, they will let you start paddling by yourself. And if you are going to fall, maybe that person will tell you, oh, fall on your right side or fall on the left side, or okay, hold the brake. But I got to a point where you yourself now, you can ride your bicycle without actually depending on your teacher. But the first things first, you must actually learn from someone who has walked that path before. Otherwise, you may end up in an asylum or even end up in a mortuary. Spirit world is real. It is not a joke. And people should not take it as if the African spiritual artifacts, which people call voodoo dolls, are just dolls. You may buy anything from any shop, and probably some spirit has inherited that place or saw an opportunity to jump into it and come and disturb you. Yeah. So, Kadi, thank you very much for that. Listen, I would advise people who are really serious about spiritual world, and want to know about spirit, should find teachers. Teachers are everywhere around the world. You can find teachers, and if you really have the desire to learn, you will surely make it. I remember very well Cady Fisher's elder sister, Cady's two children, and elder sister's boyfriend and husband came down to Ghana, stayed with us for 2 weeks, and they went through all the necessary spiritual training or the base, and then at least where Kari is today, if her destiny or a say is saying something she does not understand, the first call will be me to ask me, this is what a say is saying, and Papa, can you find out what it is? And then I will explain. So it is advisable that when you are on a spiritual path, before you start to deal with anything called spirit, find someone who knows what it is, and find someone who can guide you so that you don't fall into trouble. But then, if you are just thinking African tradition spirituality is like a Disney movie, you can go ahead. You see where a doll in your house will wake up at night and disturb you, and by the time you go there, the doll is still lying there as if nothing has happened. We have seen things before. So please just be careful when you are on this path. It's a real path, it is a path of truth and reality, but you need to be guided. Thank you very much. I think nobody is talking. And is anybody again in on Zoom who wanted to say anything? Not Zoom, Clubhouse, please. Okay, we go to the top first. Bring it up. Yeah, we have Mike Perea. So good afternoon, Papa. Do you use Florida water? And if so, for what purpose? Thank you. Yes, I use Florida water a lot, and I use other perfumes as well. It is just like what I have discussed earlier. We use perfume oils and perfumes like Florida water to enhance our spiritual experience, or when we are taking bath or we are invoking certain spirits, they like that smell, so we use them, and we Yes, it is for to help your spiritual work. Yeah, because some spirits like certain perfume. So when you are dealing with them, you use such perfume so that they can feel happy. And just like how we human beings wear perfumes. Florida water, sometimes I drink the real one because there are so many fake ones now. But if I find the real one, sometimes I can even mix it with alcohol and drink. And I think that there is a story that in the olden days when American women drink alcohol and they don't want people to know that they have drunk alcohol, they drink some Florida water and then their mouth will be smelling very nice and their husbands and boyfriends wouldn't know that they have taken alcohol. So it's a very so it's I also sometimes mix it with my drink and I take not because I don't want people to smell my drink, but me, I drink, I don't have problem with that. So that is what it is. So I use Florida water and other, we even use Revdor oil, perfume oil and everything. And some also we put some herbs into it to get some voodoos working. Yeah. So it depends on what we're using it for. And then we have Jalchud here say this conversation on reincarnation is excellent. Ashe, thank you very much. And user Said is a Papa, are voodoo spirit who used to work with our ancestors or are they our ancestors' spirits? Hmm. Voodoos are not your ancestors. Voodoos may be the voodoos that your spirits that your ancestors had worked with, but your voodoos are not and can never be classified as your ancestors. An ancestor is a person who share the same bloodline with you or share some relationship with you one way or the other. So such people may have the same DNA with you, or they have got some family ties with you, or physical ties with you somewhere along the way. But voodoos are never your ancestors because they are spirits and they are spirits of nature that through some kind of knowledge and wisdom had been put together and to work for your ancestors. So when we say we are doing ancestral veneration, we are actually talking about our ancestors as human beings who had lived in this world before us. And we are their continuation. And those are the people we pour libation for. And then the voodoos can also be people that our ancestors had worked with. That's why there are certain voodoos in certain families, and they call them family voodoo or tokuli voodoo or like the ancestral stool. The ancestral stool on its own is a voodoo, but then it is the converging point of all your ancestors where they converge and work for you and for the community. So voodoos by themselves are not your ancestors, but your ancestors may or might have dealt with certain spirits of voodoos who, by their virtue of association with your family, become part of the family. But they cannot be classified as your ancestors, but they can be called the spirits of our ancestors or the voodoos of our ancestors. That's why when we pray to the voodoos, we pray to our ancestors also. We mention the names of our ancestors, and then we also call the voodoos that our ancestors had worked with to tell them that since our ancestors had worked with them and they had worked well with them, we also pay homage and respect their presence. So, user Shadi, that is my answer to your question. And then Jalchud is saying that Jalcosilio, what is the pronunciation? Jalchosili? Okay. Anyway, he said it's excellent discussion. Thank you very much for that. And this discussion has helped me to be relaxed about my born again Christian relatives who have distance themselves from me since initiation. Yes, of course, of course. It's not their time. They can never see the picture yet. They are still in the dark room. So don't worry about them. You are not here to convert them. Concentrate on yourself and be what you want to be. Know thyself. When their time comes, they too they will know. So forget about them. Don't worry about them. Let them cast you away, that you because you are practicing your ancestral traditional spirituality. They cast you away. Don't forget their time will come. Maybe not in this lifetime. You don't need to convert them, and you don't need to fight them. It's not necessary, because if you look back into those who are talking about born again Christianity, you will realize that a lot of them are hypocrites. I'm sorry to say, but it is true. They're just a bunch of hypocrites. Thank you. And then where are we now? We have about 38 minutes more to 6 o'clock. Yeah, now we are having longer days and shorter nights. So, and then we have Bubune. Tamako's Papa, is meditation also part of Vodou practice? No, Africans don't do meditation. It's a Hindu, Oriental, this thing from, it is from Hinduism and Buddhism. Africans are not Buddhists and Africans are not Hindus. We don't have meditation in our culture. We have something we call umbre, means you are thinking, but it's not called meditation like how you go and cross your leg and say you are calling Om Mani Padi. Oh, no, 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 no. That's not it. Om Shanti, Om Namah Shivaya. That's not ours. Where we deal with nature direct. We see God in nature and we try to harmonize ourselves with nature. So it is not crossing of leg that makes God get closer to you. Maybe in that culture, that is what their spirituality is. But if you're talking about African traditional spirituality, which the Aves you call their own voodoo, it is not a meditation matter. It's not a meditation matter. Oh. That matter. People are meditating and say they want to raise Kundalini. How many times the person who made Kundalini himself was able to raise Kundalini? It's most of religious hypocrisy. People they will be telling you Kundalini is it a small thing to wake up? Hmm. Eh? Ah, you should be making exercise then Kundalini will wake up. Hey, who told you so? Hmm. People don't cross. We don't cross our legs. Sometimes we sit on the ground in our culture. We sit on the ground, but we cross our leg, but it's not for meditation. We want to sit and discuss. That's how we sit. We eat food like that, but it's not for meditation. Africa, Vodou is not a meditation matter. Vodou meditation is not part of Vodou practice. Meditation is not part of Vodou practice. A lot of people these days, especially people in the diaspora, who are just mixing everything called spirituality together, not knowing which one is which one, are the ones who are now mixing this meditation and yoga and everything, and begin to even have a Kemet yoga and all kind of things that is happening. Vodou, our traditional spirituality is not yoga. Oh. It's not yoga at all. Spirituality is no yoga. The to yoga too is there. I have practiced all. That's why I am talking about it, because I know what I am talking about. No, in our culture, you can tell a tree in African Vodou, especially Ewe practice Vodou. You can tell a tree that has got branches that it should die now with your mouth, and the leaves of the maybe a day or two before you know, the leaves of the trees are all falling off. You can't do that in Hinduism. You can't do that in yoga. I tell you. So don't deceive yourself. It's only in Voodoo that people can call thunder from the sky, that direct thunder to somebody's premises that you should go and strike there, and thunder will listen and go there and strike there. How many spirituality have you seen doing this one before? You can only see it in movie as computer tricks and all this thing. But here in Africa, in every land, it's a direct thing. It's real. So we know which one is the real one and which one is the fake. We are not going there. Yeah, okay. I think we are done with this. Anyone in the clubhouse that wanted to ask any question? I think we are done with Facebook. We are done with YouTube, and then we are now dealing with. We are done with Zoom. So people on clubhouse, you can ask me questions. See, like the question that Kadi asked was a very beautiful question, because a lot of people go buying things without getting any knowledge of it, and then just buy and put in your room. I was telling the other day that I'll be going to Bremen and also going to Utrecht in Netherlands. It is because of these voodoos that people have taken there for so many years. And I'll be going there to see which of the voodoos that are active again, and then how we can work them and ask them to release them and bring them back to their homelands. Nobody is telling us exactly why they have the interest that we should really come. Of course, academically they call them activists, but then spiritually nobody is saying anything. It's until when we go then we know whether these voodoos are still active or they are not active. So you may go and buy some voodoo. Maybe that voodoo used to drink blood, and they have not fed that thing for a long time, because maybe the kind of food they used to give it is not. You can't put it in your room and it's looking for blood. Ah, drink your blood finish before daybreak. And then, so don't jump into what you don't know. Always ask, and make sure you ask from the right people. Not everybody who wear batakari or wear talismans all around his clothes that is a spiritualist. There are so many talismans and nothing inside. It's just a newspaper pouches they put inside, they sew them, and you think that they will put different colors of them, and you think that they have power. No. And so don't look at those things and think that anybody who say I can make money for you is a real spirit. If they can make money for themselves, for you, why they couldn't make money for themselves and be free? Why do they have to take your money before making money for you? So please don't see anybody who call themselves spiritualists because of their appearance, the clothes that they are wearing, or whatever. No, if it doesn't make sense, then they don't know what they are saying. Okay, so do we have some video?
Yes, yes.
Which videos do you have?
Some of the throwbacks from last week.
Where?
Throwbacks, like your live session last week.
Oh, I told you before, we have a lot
Also
of
have a media also. Some media.
the media. You were only showing the ancestral feeding. Then we have so many media.
There are ones also with the songs. Because I
Show some video, small video, and then maybe to prompt people to ask questions. Is for John around?
Yes,
Tell him to start cooking.
they started already.
like a firewood when you go get charcoal. Go
You go burn like that.
to be ash only.
That's all.
My people, they become like that firewood. You put a, you go burn like fire, but if you look for charcoal, you will be only ash you go find. So if I go to another person's house, go burn, make them give me charcoal. That's why my sister's children. Oh. I told you I get alcohol for this one. Maybe this one is junior.
Your Frenchman is it with? Your Frenchman is it what?
We say go come.
They go come. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Lamb. Adoko ada. Agbe koroji. Oh, do beira bom.
America may have the great fan about you, not bad to at the Utopia. Not Joe like at the great low for Barbara, a book with at the flag. Watch you at the Nodujima Duaka, Domanoka at the former Guarado, I'm a put the 2 I'm not book by Jomai, remember Tossi. Well, Soja Macla, at the Jen, I'm out for 2 Darosu, or 2 Darosu, play, a damage you know, about Puma Daka, a Clarabi, a Bahabi, or an apple clear. But I don't have a big basin, and I got one of them, and the Bureau Jail, the bad day. I'm a for Lali, Bede, Ajeke, Banda Siteme, a Clapuche, no one of them would do Darosu. Oh, Vago, away, Vago, would do Darosu, Quack, Damadra Dumu, a Bapuma Daka, a Clahabi, a Bahabi, a Berry, for Lali, Bede, ajete, eba biaku. Nuke ke ta uba biaku, nuke ke nyebe nyai ta uba.
Le moche, eta o va do tara o daloso va do tara.
Daloso va do tara.
E vio bo. Ne jagora ijoje ya koke. Na koke. Egbe ne ya hore. Ne dagbe ne ba. La mosese ne ba. E mo no hu. Ivio bo mo no hu. Koso me bo mo no hu. Dagbe. Mo no hu. Vi dagbe. Si dagbe bo mo no hu.
Ade, butuh daloso. Dia hai gitu. Dia hai.
Betul di hanya itu.
Apa tu di hai gitu. Dah berat tu di mana amabe kolali. Bede ajete. Ada? Hai. Jete nazar.
Mana magawa ya?
Ame menau betul. Menau. Yes.
Energy no wa.
Energy no aku ni.
Kareje. Betul dia. Ini. Sure. Ba. Sini, cuma nak pasal.
Our origin. Why do I say so? Some people's ancestors might have come from the north. Some came from the south. And then they are settling in the north. Some came from the north, they are settling in the south. Some came from the west, they are settling in the east. Some came from the east, they are settling in the west. Some came from the central, they are settling anywhere. This is human nature. That's why when we do ancestral feeding, we get all the drinks from different cultures that are especially in Africa or Ghana, that we use this, we use that, because we all do not know where our roots came from. I may be calling myself an Ewe man today, but maybe my great grandfather might have been an Akan. Maybe my great grandfather may not even come from Ghana, but might have come from Nigeria or from another country. So when we pray or do ancestral ritual or pray to our ancestors, we get all these drinks and we pour it for them and say, whoever drinks whatever they drink in their culture should come and drink. There is no one who can 100% know where they come from, because the world has changed over time and people have moved from one culture to another, and there have been intermarriages, interrelationships, and all this. So we do not know where we come from. That's why when people say that white people do not have right to be learning voodoo, I get angry. How do you know whether that white man's roots were African or were from this? But maybe today the person is looking white. So it's the black roots of his great ancestors have lost in the color or the pigment of the skin, and you will say that oh they don't have a right. So we all do not know where we come from. Even DNA, I think it can only trace you back up to 500 or 400 years. From there onwards, there's no record. There's nothing that DNA technology. Maybe in the future there will be other technologies that will be able to go up to 1,000 to 2,000 years. Then we can find. But human life, how long? Barely we live 100 years, and that's it. So if you are tracing by 10 generation, 20 generation, you can see how far it is. So it is the immediate that you concentrate on, and then you pay homage to the known and the unknown ancestors, wherever they may come from. Thank you, Shamba.
Yes, thank you, Papa. I traced my mother's lineage, her DNA back to Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good because at least up to Sierra Leone. But then, if you are going to check the people who were in Sierra Leone, where are they up to? Where did they come from? From Guinea? From yes, go ahead.
I think they were they are part of the Mende people. So they were mostly in like Guinea and Mali.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Yes. So that means they were the Mendes people. They are from Guinea, Mali, and maybe even Niger. Who knows? So yeah. So you can only trace how far you can, but then you pay homage to all that you don't even know about. That's why we call the known and the unknown ancestors who are part of my bloodline. So when you pray, you call them all, then say, okay, these are the ones I know. That's the ones I call. But I'm calling the known and the unknown. They should all be part of the ritual.
Yes, thank you, Papa. One day I would love to get my own ancestral.
You surely do. You surely would. Don't worry about that. As long as I am here, you surely would.
Thank you, Papa.
You're welcome. Thank you, Shamba. Is there anybody who wanted to talk again from either Clubhouse or Baba Wakiri wanted to say something? Yes. Okay.
Yes, in the video, I remember you saying that a lot of your balloons in the compound are underground. You will be driving right over them and not even know. Now I don't know if this is too much, but I see in the video when you were giving the libation, some were bored in certain objects that maybe were protruding from the ground. Am I matching things up correctly?
No, Baba Wakiri, I have so much voodoos in the room. In the spiritual room, there are a lot of voodoos. Each one is a voodoo on its own. I have lost count of how many.
Okay.
I have lost count of how many.
Right.
They are in the spiritual room. But each voodoo that is there, I was initiated into them. They were not things that I just brought and put down. I was initiated into each and every individual voodoo, every voodoo you see in my spiritual room. But when you get into my compound, unlike many voodoo priests where they will mount voodoos and they are in the compound, and then of course if they are not seeing them, they draw them on the wall. My voodoos in the compound are all underground. So when you walk into my compound or into my shrine, you will see Baba Legba at the gate. That one is for the outside. And then you will see Afa, Apeli, Seregaji. Those are voodoos you see. But apart from that, you are not going to see anything. You are only walking over, you are walking and thinking, you'll be looking around, where are the voodoos? I don't have. They are all underground. But that doesn't mean they are not working. But when I want to initiate you into voodoo or initiate you into African Magic Temple, then I will take you into the inner shrine where physically you will see voodoos there.
Mm-hmm.
And these voodoos that are in the inner shrine, I only bring them out twice a year. During the mid-year, I bring them out and feed them outside, and then after I send them back into the shrine. And then at the end of the year, the 31st December rituals, I also bring them out again and feed them, and after that, I send them back there. But other than that, when you come into my house, there is no voodoo.
Right. So I was looking. This might not be for the video, but he was pouring the solution down one of the pipes.
Yes, they are underground. Because the voodoos are underground, so the pipes are showing up. So I pour the drink so that it goes to them.
Right, exactly. Because everything is not for everyone's eyes to see.
Yes, that's one thing.
Oh, okay. And maybe some voodoos, they want to live underground. This is how they work better.
Yes, but then also it is, I decide to put them where I want them to be. Because at the end of the day, I am the one who they are with. I am the one who tells them, this is where I've given to you as your shrine. When you have a voodoo and you don't make the voodoo to understand who is the master, the voodoo sometimes will override you, and then you will be running helter skelter. You will not know, and then they say voodoo is chasing you. Your own voodoo chasing you. Why?
You got paid to be in a scary movie.
Yeah, you need to let the voodoo understand who is master. But out of respect, you are not doing it that you don't show them respect. Show them respect, but they should know that it is you who built your shrine and you brought them in. You could have taken any other voodoo into it, but they are the ones that you brought in, and they should respect you as the owner of the shrine.
Right. This is the working relationship.
Right.
That we have.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome. Hello, Selassie.
Hello, Daddy.
Before.
Please,
Mauta.
Okay, Okay, please. My question is, I learned or I heard that every voodoo is built on a human sacrifice or human blood. How true is that?
It's a lie. It's a very, very big lie. How many people do you hear that they are killing in Ghana?
Okay, from the source, he claims that it's done in secret. So they don't really bring it out, but it's done in secret.
That's okay if it's done in secret. So if your sister is lost, or your friend is lost, or your son is lost, or your daughter is lost, won't you search for it?
Sure.
And if every voodoo is being built on a human sacrifice, so how many people they will kill before they will make voodoo in all the voodoos we have? And people will not look for their children. You know, sometimes these things are very stupid, but then people do not think very far. So they just assume and accept it. Hey, if a chicken we are killing, how many chicken can you kill? And then you are talking about a human being, every voodoo is built on human sacrifice. It's just a way to scare you away so that you don't go back to your own roots.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doreen. Yeah, Nuku. Okay, Nuku, if you want to ask any question, you can ask now. I think Nuku is not hearing you or he's not ready for any question then. So we can go back to Baba Baba Wakiri if he wants to answer, ask any question. Go back to him. I think Baba Wakiri wanted to ask a question.
I had one question, man. I was supposed to write it down, but I was listening, and it was cool. So when it came back, I had missed what Shama had asked fully. I don't know if the question was, or let me see. I did see several different drinks being poured. So I think you answered that in terms of we're pouring many different drinks because we come from many different walks of life.
You're right. Yes,
Okay, I think you.
What I was saying is that when we do ancestral feeding, since we do not know the root of all our ancestors.
Okay, I have a question.
Let me answer Baba Wakiri finish, then we go to Nuku. Baba Wakiri, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Baba Wakiri, what I was saying is that since we do not know the sources and the roots of our generation in our life in general, we may be from so many different sources before we are like one single human being like this. There may be different cultures, different races that mix and make what we are as Voncujovi here, Baba Wakiri there, listen. And since we do not know where our roots are from, when we are feeding the ancestors, which are our DNA line, we give almost all the drinks that we know that people drink. With the sense that there may be an ancestor from a different root that doesn't take certain drink, but this other one is the one that it drinks. So we give asana, which is our local drink in every land for our ancestors. We give what is called pito, the African beer, which is locally brewed. Then we give another one called brukutu, which is also an African beer from another northern side. Then we give moonshine. Then we give gin. We give a sweet drink, all kind of drinks, so that at least each ancestor from whichever root that they are coming from will be represented. And then we make them to understand that we cannot know our roots, where we came from. So we are praying to the known ones that we have mentioned, plus all the unknown ones. They should come and assist us. That's what we do.
And the known one will bring the offerings to
the unknown. Yes, yes, yes.
You know, I have heard one time that, let's say we come and we bring a piece of cake to the shrine for our ancestors. Okay, we are celebrating our grandmother's birthday. This small piece of cake or a whole cake that we have brought in the spiritual realm, it is like 4, 5, 6, 7 cakes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, what is the correlation? Or is the amount that we bring the same amount that spirit sees it as? If you pour one shot glass of tea, of gin, do they see it as one shot glass, or is it a river of gin?
Okay, that I don't know, but I think when you pour one glass, 1 million people can still drink from that same glass. It does not replica like thousands of cups. It is one glass that we are offering, but we are offering it to the known and the unknown. And once it drops on the ground, it is for everybody to come and drink. It is just like the air. How do you count how many air is there? So it is not that the glasses are many, but then many mouths will come and drink from the same glass.
And they know, I mean, yes, they have a system of their own
Yes.
of how to consume, how much, and everything that is.
Yeah,
Because
the spirit world or the ancestors actually it is just symbolism coming from our inner self to them. So even if it is just a drop, it is enough.
it is enough, right? Because you saying that makes a lot of sense because sometimes, see, going through this process of slavery or going wherever we have been, and here in the diaspora, right, we have went through so many stages, and we've had to mask so much stuff away from our oppressors at times, and that has become religion. So sometimes you see it's like 1,000 orchards or 1,000, if Spirit has not asked for that specifically and we want to give, it's not so much in the quantity of, okay, I need to give 1,000 oranges because I know 1,000 ancestors. I can give one orange
And
that has 10 pieces in
it will work.
10,000 ancestors.
Yeah, it can
Yes,
even
it will work, right.
one will even be enough for 1 million. It does not matter because you see, in our way of feeding ancestors, you, the person who is giving the food to the ancestors, you are the first person to eat.
Right.
And once you have
Share
eaten,
it.
yes, once you have eaten, all that ancestors that have formed your DNA have eaten. So the other part that you put on the ground is just symbolism.
That symbolism is very important, though.
Yes.
And why is it important? Because I am my ancestor, my bones, my flesh, but I am also me.
Right,
I
of
had
course.
said.
Yes, it's you.
But why is the symbolism important? Why don't I just take all them drinks and drink them myself?
Because the symbolism, the human mind can only relate and connect when there's a symbol.
Because we are on this physical destination.
Yes. So when there is symbolism, suppose, for instance, you take the cross of the Christians. The moment you hold a cross and you wear it on your neck, automatically people connect you to Christianity.
Right.
It is a symbol that connects you to a source. If you are a Muslim and you hold a tasbih, whether you are Muslim or you are not even a Muslim, you are holding the tasbih and you started counting it or holding it in public somewhere, people will immediately assume and associate and connect you with Islam.
Right.
So the human mind can always and easily associate to the source by seeing a symbol. And this symbol, whatever it is, connects you straight away to the source. That's why when people carve gods and all these things. In reality, sometimes you don't need all these things. If your mind is very strong, you can just imagine it and create it.
Right. Right. That is all I have. Thank you. Look, you back now.
Yes. Okay, Nuku. So go ahead and ask your question, Nuku. Yes.
Today I don't have any questions. I'm just listening.
You are enjoying the. Okay, okay. Thank you, Nuku. Thank you very much. And I think today's lessons have been very interesting. The questions that you people asked were very relevant and very interesting questions, and we are all learning. We are all learning because as I said, always my head contains a lot of things, but until you probe into it, I won't be able to bring it out to you because for me it is within me, and it is until you ask it before I can bring it out, and before the gods and the ancestors that I work with will now prompt me to get it from this file and present it to you. So if you don't ask, I just sit and watch you. So that's why I'm always encouraging you people to ask questions. No matter how difficult you think that the question may be, if I had had that experience sometime in my life, it is very sure that it is inside my memory somewhere, and I will draw it back.
Papa, don't let him cool off the hook that quick. Before he left, he said, I have a question now.
Now,
I his question.
okay, Noku. There you are. You say you have a question, so we want to hear your question.
Wanted to ask that doing rituals increase your connectivity spirit more.
Definitely.
Because I'm realizing.
Definitely, when you do, the more you do rituals that are necessary for whatever you are doing, them that bring you closer to whatever you are trying to get. So if you want your ancestors to be more closer to you, then you do rituals that will bring your ancestors closer to you. If you want your spirits to be closer to you, then you do rituals to your spirit so that your spirit can be closer to you. It is like you put a honey down, okay? Honey, drop a honey, a drop of honey on the ground. After some time, you will see that ants from or insects are coming to eat it. It attracts them. Or flies, it will attract them. So whatever you want, you must know what you want, and then do the necessary things that will attract what you want to you. Have you ever heard about the law of opulence? Opulence, opulence. The law of opulence.
Like the law of attraction, that kind of thing.
Attraction, yes. It's called the law of opulence. When you want whatever you want to attract, you must concentrate and put your mind on it, and you can attract it towards you. But then in the African way, you use symbols and rituals to draw that to you. That's why we are not meditation type of people. We use rituals to do our work. We don't sit down and be thinking. We will do it physically, and we are watching it, and we know that we do it. Our inner selves will know that we have done it. And then whatever we want to attract will be attracted. We are not going to go and sit down and cross our leg and be thinking in our head. We will do it physically because we live in the physical world.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you too. Okay, I think we are done for today. If there's no question, okay, there is some questions on Facebook. We have Kwame Jones. He said, "Thanks, Papa, for keeping it 100% real." Thank you too, Kwame. I'm very grateful. And then we have our big sister Oluchi also. Okay, he's saying, "Great evening, Papa, with peace and love." I didn't come in time. Oh, big sister, don't worry. Everything is up there. You can always go through them at your best time, or at your relaxed time, at your free time. So you have not missed anything at all. And then we have a Van Perico saying that Papa, the spirit name in Santa Marta Dominadora, this spirit is very popular in Dominican Republic and Haiti. It is a spirit of for revenge. Oh, thank you. Yes, this is the one that my dear student invoked. So maybe she learned from someone who had had an experience with it or knows how to do, but she didn't learn it properly. So that's why the sadness. I've never heard about that spirit until she came, and then the spirit came and called her name to us here that this is what it is. But we didn't know it was from the Haiti and Dominican Republic. Thank you very much, Van Perico, that we are keeping it real, because we can know spirits can come and tell us their name without even we knowing them or even had no contact with them before. So Santa Marta Dominadora says a revenge. It's a spirit of revenge. Okay, that's all she says. She used it for to revenge and attack her friend. Anyway, that thank you very much, Van Perico. Papa, exactly how did the spirit say it wanted a novena? Did it possess someone in your temple, or was it through the mirror? It was through the mirror. It was through the mirror. It was through the mirror that it gave the name and then told us the what to do. No, I have so many divination tools. The mirror talks when it is working. It speaks names and locations and all that. Afar talks about events and stories. But then we combine them all. But in this one, it was the mirror who was speaking to my son, and it was my son who got all the information, and then I followed up on the rituals for the novena for our students. Thank you very much, Amperico. And then we have a big sister Oluchi Osonke laughing. I think that's a way we don't cross our leg. Then we have a sister Vivian Baka. Please, Papa, why Voodoo don't fight people that are bullying? That are bullying you right away. Oh, Voodoo fight people. It's not that Voodoo doesn't fight people, but it is you who will invite the Voodoo to fight. It will fight at its right time. Maybe the time that you think that that's the time that it should fight on you, it won't. But sometimes it does. So it is your how you relate with the Voodoo is how it will work. Uh, and sometimes also the voodoo give the person who is bullying you to become aware of you, who you are. And if that doesn't work, the voodoo will act on its own. Sometimes so many things happen. Voodoo will react very immediately, depending how close you are with your voodoo. It's not a Christian way that you have to believe, but try to create your relationship with your voodoo. Voodoo is very powerful and can act very immediately. Otherwise, Joka and Besa will not be working. But you need to establish a relationship with whatever you are dealing with. Because even if you have a car, and if you don't know how to drive it very well, you can drive it, but you cannot speed. But the more you will have experience in driving it, the more speedily you can drive it and get to your destination. So Voodoo is like that. You need to master it and it will work for you. And then we have Mike Thomas saying, Papa, when you see the spirit in the mirror, does this show his true self? I don't know what is his true self, whereby I will know whether that is his true self or it's not his true self, because I don't even know the spirit. So how would I know whether what he's showing me is his true self or is not his true self? Me, when I invoke and the spirit comes, whichever form it comes, what is more important to me is the information that it gives me. And if the information is relevant and I can use it to guide myself and guide people, that is enough. Whether that is the true form of the spirit or it's not the true form of the spirit, because I will never know the true form of the spirit. There's no way I can know what is the true form of a spirit. And those are not my worry. My worry is the information that I need to use to work, to help myself and to help humanity. I'm not that kind of spiritualist who is just trying to prove that I have power or whatever. And then no. My spirituality is very simple as you see me. That's how it is. And that doesn't mean it's not working. If it is working, then that's what I want. I don't care whether it is to show people or to prove to people. That's not my aim. If what I'm doing is working for me and working for people, I'm satisfied. Okay, let's pour libation if there's nothing else there uh,
Stop it.
yes, Shama. Go ahead.
One last thing. Today I had went to when I went to my leg, but I found that it's hair on my leg, but like I don't know where the hair come from, but it's like I've been seeing it for a while, but I didn't know what it was.
Is it
today I chose to touch it.
Is it growing or
it
is it a growing hair or is just a hair that was on top of it?
Papa, I don't know where it come from. Just one day, it just started. It just started to have the hair like on the side of it, but I didn't know what it was. So like it's been there for a long time, and no one put it there. I don't think anyone put it there. It's real hair.
Okay, I think what you should do is that take that hair, put it inside a bottle, and close the bottle on top of it. Close the lid on top of this thing. And do you have a parrot hair? You have a parrot feather?
Parrot, yes.
Parrot feather. Do you have an extra one?
Yes, I have one.
Okay, so put that hair inside a bottle and then put the parrot hair into the bottle and then close the lid on it and leave it for some time. And you'll be observing it. And whatever you see, let me know. Then I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bobby.
Thank you to Shamba. And we have on YouTube, we have Danilo Imberile. Is that Danilo? So just the teaching on this channel alone can prepare someone for initiation. Thank you very much, Danilo. Yes, Papa, do you work with genes? Yes, Danilo. The word genes is coming, or genie, is an Arabic word for spirit. And it is the same word the Aves call voodoo. So when you say genes or genie, you are talking about an Arabic word for spirit. So we Aves do not call it genie, we call it voodoo. So it's the same thing. You see, sometimes language deceives, and a lot of people confuses. When people say voodoo, a lot of people think that voodoo is only for Africans or for every people. No, voodoo is for the whole world. But we, the Aves, we call spirit. When I say voodoo is for the whole world, which I mean that in the whole world there are spirits, and every culture has a spirit. When you go to Japan, what name would they call voodoo? They'll call it kami. Kami. That's why they will say Yamano Kami, which means the spirit of the mountain. And then if we Ewe people want to use the same Yamano Kami in Ewe, that will be a Tobe voodoo. A to is Yama or mountain, and Kami is voodoo. So we'll say the mountain voodoo, which will be a to voodoo. A chivodu, which is a kawano kami, which is water or river spirit, which will be kawano kami, and we will call it a chivodu, a to voodoo. So when people make this thing thinking that maybe jinn is a different thing from voodoo or from spirit, then it is a language problem, because the Aves are only mentioning the way they call spirit in their language. That's why we call it voodoo. So if the Arabs are calling spirits jinn or genie, then it is voodoo. So yes, I deal with voodoo. It is called in Arabic jinn or genie. Then we have Amwaku Evans Jr. Say, Papa, please, how much will it cost to do a protection? There are so many different protections, my brother. And each protection, the items that are needed in it is what makes it how much it will cost you. So I cannot stay here and tell you that protection like this will cost you this until I know what protection you want and what items will go into it. Then I can tell you, okay, these are the things you will buy. Buy this, buy that, and I will charge you this for preparing it for you. Then that will give you the cost. So you can call our shrine line, and then we will see how it goes. Thank you very much, Evans. And then again, Evans Amaku Jr., you say, Papa, please, I was told by a friend that sometimes when you visit a spiritualist, they sometimes give them bad things rather. Is that true? That one I cannot tell, because in my shrine, you cannot come to me to look for help and I'll give you a bad thing. Why should do I even have the bad things? And why should I give the bad thing to you when you are looking for help at my place? But then we have different people in the world. There are different human beings, and these human beings, some are spiritualists. So they becoming spiritual does not take them from their normal behavior. So whatever it is, at our shrine, people come here to seek for help and good things. And why should we give them bad things to promote what? So I cannot tell at other people's shrine, but our shrine, Africa Magic Temple, is not for that. And if my teachings attract you and you understand what I'm teaching, you must know that we are here for life and for protection of ourselves and for other people who will come to us. We are not here to destroy. What will I gain if I destroy you? I don't even know you. What will I gain if I should give you a bad thing so that you can be suffering? Will it give me money? Will it give me happiness? Will it expand my generation? So why should I give you a bad thing? Anyway, I don't know about other people, but I know about myself and my shrine. That's not our work. Thank you very much, Amwaku Evans Jr. And then we have Joe Dega here. In Haiti, we say genie also, and Joe Dega say or Iwa. I think that's the Lua they are saying. So everybody has a name and in their own language and culture for spirit. We always we call it voodoo. Any more questions from anywhere? Because I'm going to pray and close the. Okay, Mike Thomas he says, sorry, I meant to ask, does it come in human form? Yes, it will come in human form. Spirits will come in human form because they don't want to scare you. So whatever form they come in, they just want to communicate with you. It is not their it is not their work to scare you or frighten you. When you are introduced to them and they know you or you are invoking them, and if you are a master spiritualist, they will come to you in a form that will be pleasant to you and to them so that you can relate. Because if a spirit comes in a fearful form to me, I will be scared of it. Then how can I communicate with something that is fearful? So naturally, spirits will come to you in the form that you can relate to them. Thank you very much, Mike Thomas. And then we have Vivian Bakay. Thank you, Papa. I'm grateful, Tobe Jopata, for helping me to get a job in 1 week. So try to relate to it. Find a way to be calling him and asking him questions. Give him tasks. Let him become like your partner. That even you can be talking to your Jopata. People will think you are crazy, but Jopata is the one you are talking with. For me and Jopata, we are so close that even a thought of it, his presence comes. And it is not that relationship wasn't built in a day. It was built over the years that I had been a friend and partner to him. So when you want to do a spirit work, you should keep trying to communicate and establish a relationship with the spirit, and then you will see how things will be. But without establishing a very strong relationship, even whether it's a human being or spirit, it is not that easy to get their response when they have to. Thank you very much, Vivian. I'm very grateful. I think some 2 or 3 comments are down again. Please, Papa, how to have strong relationship with Voodoo? Talk with the Voodoo. Ask questions. Tell it to do things for you. Like how I am, you ask me a question. Ask the Voodoo, and then it will come and talk to you later. Or send it to do something for you. Or ask the Voodoo, is this thing okay? It is not okay. Ask using simple answers in the beginning, yes and no answers, until it gets to a point where the Voodoo will start to communicate with you with complex languages. So just ask, ask, and you will understand. Then we have Jebedia Kaminsky. Can I wax my hairy goat wife at a salon? She is getting very sassy. I think you have to go to the salon and ask them. I don't have a salon here. I don't work in the salon. Oh, leave it. I don't have a salon here, so go to the salonist and ask them. I don't work at the salon. That's not the work I do here. I'm teaching Voodoo here. Oh, leave it, leave it. If the person comes with stupid thing, tell him stupid answer. If your wife has sassy hair, is it my concern? Am I a hairstylist? Stupid people in the world who do not know what they want. I'm not stupid. I know what I want in life. That's why I'm here. Okay. So you don't have anything on YouTube too, right? And Facebook. Huh? Okay. And Clubhouse. Anybody has anything? Okay. And Zoom. Do we have anything? Okay. Oh, ago, mauga madu ago zieton. You want to be ago do. Me yo mauga soboli sa mauga kiti kata mauga ese joto ame joto. Se na anu ame se tie anu ame. Ome no fe vi doko no fe vi. Ome no fe vi me bi anu doko no fe vi ugbe na doko no fe vi me bi anu ome no vi ugbe. Se nye me yo ame la kwenda. Me yo she me ham furasho se mi furasho beti do. Me yo abraxas me yo zi ante kudo ko eta dreto be vi mo fu. Owo be so ton be so kama yo do. Yo mi ano so die. Ayi zo ka kazi bo she. Me ala fa me nya go na pe pe nya go. Yo hono me yo ara tukele wo nya imba ma jo flora fa kwa imba me do ri ka nya pe mo mate kulo ete. O akai dagbe me yo jo pata lo ni ba fa. Me yo to me nyi ni ma fa. Dagbe. Me yo okoro go huku tichie ba fa. Me yo afana go no afago ma so pepe to mo so lo me da pa vidi me yo poli gbe meji yeku meji woli meji di meji lo so meji ngoli meji abla meji akra meji guda meji sa meji ka meji trupe meji tula meji rete meji che meji fu meji poli che tula me yo klebo mi no to ba do to ba de nyande mo po ne ndiro klebo ba vi me nyuro dagbe fana go no me yo se me yo le gaji bo su ba me no meji me do amoso me yo ape ko do sa gbaja po fi po no sere gaji me yo me yo aflagati me yo akinto la be nye untu se me abete me ba po to me me awere doji me awe ko mi de ko mi gbero asinedi never na me se never na me se me kosra ibe mi agerore me se me bagbe ne yi gboro na me se never na no choko di ko nu yo fia mi le fili nu gome se la no se gome nu yo ma se nu gome de no yi ba fi ku asre no sre ke mi awore nu yi mi nya e ko mi afia ma gboro enya ke he mi nya o dagbe to gbe mo fo nu mi akoto di yese I wish everybody a successful week. May your business progress. May you get health, and may your friends and family members get good life this week. Bye bye for now. And okay, we have a.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zim. And we have a Vivian Bakai say thank you, Papa. And then we have Vampirico Papa. Somebody asked about why Florida water is so special. It's also a perfume oil or water that some spirits like. So we use it. Even we human beings too, we like the smell. So we are all using it. So when spirit like it, we too we like it. So it is not only Florida water that is special. There are so many other perfume waters and oil that are special. Some people use Florida water if they were introduced to it. Some people use any other thing. I have so many waters that I use when I'm doing my spiritual thing. So it's not only limited to Florida water, but it is everything. So thank you very much. And big sister Oluchi is saying, and then we have Rina, what is the name there? Raise it. Rinaldo Eduboy also say, and then we have Bubuneta no close. Thank you, Papa. Thank you all, and then until next Sunday, uh, uh, all of you should have a very beautiful and wonderful week. Thank you. Bye bye for today.